The GRG podcast, the place for all your gaming news, plus hot topics of the week. Also remember to follow us on Twitter at KMega4.
Welcome to the GRG podcast. Here we go. The GRG podcast is live and very light, but that's okay. I did not know that Loke was going to be doing something else. So, I mean, we had to go to bed early, which again, like I've always said, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm all very appreciative that he comes on for the show for late as he does. So therefore, I didn't even go look and try to ask anybody else to come on. If not, and then of course, Sir X-Man's show, his last show was last week because of his work schedule. So I just didn't, I was assuming that maybe, you know what I'm saying, that there would just be the three of us and maybe an additional fourth that'll pop in or whatever. But then it's just me and Ham. So therefore, I don't know how this is going to play out because, you know what I'm saying, Ham might be on his best behavior. I don't really know. But I don't. And you know what? It's going to make some good discussion regardless. Because I can yap all day, all night. You know what I'm saying? Ham Solo. I've heard him in parties. He can yap all day and night. So we're just going to have to put this to the test. Anyway, what's going on with you, Ham Solo? What's going on?
Oh my goodness. I feel bad because you hit me up not that long ago, and I don't remember. I think I was busy playing like Persona or something, but I could see this gameplay you got right here. For Crackdown.
Yeah.
And although it's interesting, I'm not sure if I really missed anything.
You listen, you have to play it. No, you got to play it to enjoy it. That's the only way, because remember, people dogged the hell out of this game, and a lot of people did not get a chance to play it because the servers were already like gone at just, I mean, like I think the servers were up. Well, the servers are still up, but I think the multiplayer just went dead like within a matter of like 2 months. And then, so when people try to go back and try to find randoms, then they went ahead and they couldn't get in because there wasn't a lot of people that were in there, because a lot of people was waiting for the lobby situation. They said they were going to get that done within, 4 to 6 months. And of course, it never happened. You can squad up, and then the game will pick up randoms. You'll see that, because I got maybe about 35, 40 minutes of gameplay, so you can just check out, to wet your palate to this. And of course, I got some other stuff in here. Also, I do want to make a disclosure, because, when I do my gameplay, my gameplay is usually entertaining, but I will have to say this, because I've been playing the hell out of Persona 5. I played Crackdown. Those are the only 2 games that I played, except for last week when I played a little bit of Gotham Knights, because I'm going to get ready to stream it here this weekend. I went and I just quickly recorded some gameplay from where I was at in Gotham Knights, and I forgot how to play the game, so I just let it run. So excuse me, it looked horrible. It looks horrible. I was like, oh my God, because I haven't got a chance to play with Nightwing or Batgirl or but I know how to play. I just played a little bit with Red Hood before I stopped last week, but regardless, man, my Nightwing action is trash. I'm just gonna say that right there. So if there was anybody else that see that, like, damn, Mega, what's that? Man, I was listening to the news on top of playing, and then the crazy news that was happening. Nancy Pelosi's husband got beat the hell down with a hammer and shit. I'm like, what? And so I was all caught up into listening to that, because, if you pay attention to me, I love listening to politics and shit like that. So I thought that was pretty nutty. But other than that, man, it was just trash. So when you get to
that
it,
sounds
just go ahead
tragic.
and say, it was, beat this. He's like 82 years old or something like that. Like, it's crazy, man. It was wild. But anyway,
I mean, I'm not going to get political. I think Nancy Pelosi is something, but like a hammer?
Well, not her, but her husband. Yeah, but I was like,
right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
look,
I'm just like, wow, like that's extremely
over the top, right? Like, but they were after her, and so they was holding hostage.
Oh my God, this is out of control.
It's getting out of control, Jack. So
people need to relax, man. Like,
just go vote. Like, it ain't that serious. Like, I mean,
that ain't stopping no train. I don't know what y'all trying to do. It ain't gonna stop no.
That's pretty wild.
A hammer ain't finna stop no policy. This ain't the 1600s, bruh. Like, what are they trying to do?
Yeah, no, it's nutty. But other than that, like, no, I was just like caught up in that. But I was just saying, look, you see my Gotham Knights gameplay. It was like, oh, it's pretty savage. But you'll see how I was getting down on Persona, though, because I have some Persona 5 gameplay here coming in here. But as you see me tearing down these buildings, I'm telling you, here this weekend, we're going to be doing it again, trying to get people on. We just need 10. So we can have a 5v5 for Crackdown, the multiplayer. And man, I'm telling you, come on in, man. This game is a blast. We played that game until we played 4.5 hours. So that should tell you, like, and this was the first time that most of the people that was in played it, and they were having a blast. So it's not so much if you looking at it and you're like, man, that doesn't look. You just got to give it a chance. You got to play it. So I mean, because when they started playing it, they were like, whoa, this is actually really fun. So that is what it is on that. So Ham Solo, what's been going on, man? What you been playing?
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Has it been a smorgasbord or just a few games? What you been doing, man?
It's been a smorgasbord. So as I was telling you before, I beat Scorn last week. I beat a Plague. I beat a Plague Tale 2. I put in almost 24 hours into Persona.
Okay, nice.
Been playing some ESPN 2K5 on stream. Oh man, I just been playing stuff, bro. Like, it can keep going, but I'd have to look around a little bit just to completely remember everything. But I've been playing a lot of different stuff, and I mean, there's just so much to play right now. I know people are dying to get some new games, especially on the Xbox side for sure. But like, one thing I still never really understand is when people say there's nothing to play. It's just like,
Yeah, no.
where have you been?
Right. Like, what are you actually playing? Like, I mean, if you saying right now at this point that there is nothing to play, then obviously you just don't like gaming, because it's not only just one particular genre. It's not just like shooters and sports. It is all types
Call
of
of Duty
out
as
there.
well. Fuck,
Right.
I almost
Yeah.
forgot. I've been going. I'm about like 5 hours into that campaign, so I guess I'm about halfway through.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I haven't even.
It's only like
bought
10
it last
hours,
week,
I
and
guess.
yeah, I bought it last week, and I didn't even. I bought the Vault Edition, and I just played it probably with maybe an hour ago, because I was just like, man, that was just a multiplayer, because I haven't played the multiplayer of COD in like over 2 years, because I didn't buy Vanguard. The last one I played was Modern Warfare, so I was like, all right, let me go in here and just see how I did, and I got wrecked. I mean, I think I went like 9-14 or something like that, but it just felt like I was getting wrecked. My you know what I'm saying, my hand-and-eye coordination with shooters, since I really haven't been playing shooters this year like that, it's lacking. So it's going to be so I'm definitely going to be playing a hell of a lot of COD. So, you know.
Well, you didn't get wrecked on stream though, right?
No.
Bro,
I always
I got wrecked
play
on
something.
stream.
Oh,
I got wrecked on stream, but not playing Call of Duty, playing the computer in NFL 2K5. I was playing.
You post
I was playing on. Yeah, I got murdered, but it was so I was playing, and this was the problem right here, because right after this game I got murdered, I went to normal, or not to normal, but to like the whole time I was playing on all pro. So I didn't turn it to legendary or whatever that last one is, because it's been some years since I turned on the game, right? It's going to be a little rusty. But I didn't want to put it on normal, because I didn't want to run it up like 70-0 or something, you know, right? So and I'm playing it on stream, so I wanted there to be some competition. And then on top of that, I was playing first person football, not just, you know, the game.
Oh, yeah.
And I wasn't ready. There are so many times I got blindside smacked as the quarterback. I just dropped back, and my silly ass decided to be the Denver Broncos, and the 05 Broncos ain't shit.
They weren't.
Like, it was rough. And I was playing versus the Chicago Bears. And around that time is one of the last times Chicago Bears went to the Super Bowl. So I put myself in a bad situation.
Oh, yeah, you put yourself in a real bad situation. Yep, because they went with, I forgot what, the Grossman. I think that was the quarterback's name.
They had Rex Grossman. They had Brian Urlacher out there. They had some stars.
Yeah, they had.
Rex Grossman wasn't really that much of a star, but he he could do what he needed to do to get where he needed to go.
They had Devin Hester, man. That dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, that his return game, like, you kick the ball to him, he's gonna do it. He's going to the Hall of Fame just because of him doing his kick returning. But
bro, first play in the Super Bowl,
right?
The first play in the Super Bowl,
the first play.
House.
Yeah, took it to the house. Dude was amazing. Sir X, man, I did see the super chat right from the beginning, man, but we was just having conversation. You know what I'm saying? This man text me, this man posting. Lord have mercy. I got you, brother. I got you. He said, Sir X, man, with the super chat, man, appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And as I will steal this from Xbox 448. Folks, the super chat works. You know what I'm saying? Come and support. He said, welcome to the cum zone. All right, GRG, I'm at work. Give me a good show. And who's going to do the clear my throat section today? Unleash the Mogwai. Well, it is feed the Mogwai. Feed the Mogwai, not unleash the Mogwai. You know what I'm saying? The Mogwai is the cute little creature. You know what I'm saying? You need in order for it to turn into a gremlin, you got to feed the Mogwai after midnight. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not unleash the Mogwai. Because if you unleash the Mogwai, then it's going to be just a good time, right? It's going to be fun, little cute little furry thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I see you, Sleepy. It depends on what K Mega's talking about.
What
It
did he
might
say?
get a little messy.
What? Oh, it's gonna get messy. You know me. It's gonna be messy because I mean it's just me and you right now. And if normally some other people kind of hop in, but if not, I'm gonna still get messy just because of the fact that it's it's Friday night. I'm gonna have to. There's gonna be something that I'm gonna piss somebody else with. So it is what it is. So I might as well get started. And yet I pissed somebody off today because. I've seen a lot of people talking about Bayonetta, and I was like, look, the money that I was going to get Bayonetta with, I'm going to send it to this charity. And then, some people got mad about it.
Lord,
like,
of course.
Well, why would you get mad about that? Look, I told you I stand behind Miss Taylor. So that's it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he said, I just need access to jump in. All you got to do is just hop into Discord. You already got the green light. You got the green light, Viper. You just hop in. Just hop in until where you see it. You see where we are. You got the green light, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyway, so this wasn't even a topic, but this dropped. So I think it's worth talking about. It's pretty interesting right off the bat because, like, damn. I mean, it's it's a weird situation because of what Square Enix has done. But I'm gonna go ahead and read this because I was over here filling a ham on in it because I guess he didn't see it.
Yeah, I took a nap and I guess something happened.
Yeah, some things happen, man. I mean, that's why I like night podcasts, you kind of know stuff. You never know what's going to happen, especially on Fridays. It usually is like they drop news and then they kind of like, oh man, let's let that fester for the weekend. And if it's bad news, hopefully it's done and people won't be talking about it until, they'll just skip about it and they'll talk about it Monday. But if it's something crazy, then people are going to continue to talk about it. But this was basically about.
People always want to slide some shade right before the weekend.
Yeah, right before the weekend. This is just what they do.
By the way, you're fired. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so all right. So Square Enix, they posted this article, or I guess, the statement. It was an article, but what they said achieving major growth in the game industry is difficult now for companies that compete primarily in the Japanese market. Given its graying demographics as such, it is critical for our business that we produce hit titles that speak to a global market, which offers greater scale in terms of both customers and sale volumes. Furthermore, game development efforts are becoming more sizable and spontaneous as a result of technological advancements in the devices on which they are played, such as consoles or smart devices. The investment required to develop game titles is therefore an order of magnitude greater than in the past. In other words, the Japanese market is no longer significant or for achieving a level of earning that enables us to recoup our development investment and generate a profit. And we therefore need to approach our development efforts based on the assumptions that we have to succeed in the global market. Now, listen, Ham said it right, because this is baffling to me. Normally I got like a little comeback, or I can kind of understand a point, or trying to see where, try to find some devil's advocate on this one. But this one just baffles me because it's just like what Ham Solo said when I told him this earlier, was that didn't they get rid of their Western division? And that's exactly what they did. Like, why are you talking about now you want to be global, but you gave up your Western division, saying that like you were trying to save costs because they kept always, overcharging. I mean, you put so much money into these games just not making enough profit. So are you saying that the West now is not interested into your games, on top of the fact now you're saying Japan is not interested in your stuff? This to me, and Ham, of course, I'm going to let you, go at it and give your thoughts on it. But this to me is a smokescreen. This sounds just like what Sony has been saying. That's why they left Japan and went to the United States, went to California. And sounds like the same type of rhetoric that Sony has been pushing, and they're saying the same thing in order for them to be acquired. Because they have been crying wolf for so long, and they've cut their losses, but now they're talking about they want to be more. They can't. They gotta make games that are more global, you know. But look at what they did with what you were just talking about. People Can Fly with Outriders. Outriders seemed to be a hit, but then you squandered them out of money. So what is it? This is really baffling to me. So Ham, if you can come up with some kind of idea or thought of what this means, I don't know, because this, like I said, this is so baffling when you already had Western type games available. You made a game that at first is hemorrhaging money, but I'm sure that it's recouped a lot of its money in Avengers. I don't know. What's the deal here? What's going on? What do you think?
Well, first of all, I just want to throw something out that is really nuts that just happened a moment ago that I'm hoping turns into something. I just got a reply back from Seamus Blackley.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
really hoping that goes somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's
but
great.
Anyways,
yeah, shout out to
right?
Seamus.
Wouldn't that be nuts?
That would be nuts. That would be good. That would be good stuff.
Mr. Xbox himself.
Yes.
But
yes, he's a good dude too.
But anyways, as for this, yeah, dude, it's super baffling. Like, wait a second. Like, you just got rid of all this stuff, and we could have swore what you said to get rid of these things was actually like the opposite of what you're kind of saying right now, which is a little confusing. Like,
right.
Who are like at this point, I don't think anybody knows who you're trying to appease. Because it seems like it seems like you're trying to like create like this kind of community, but it's not based on anything. Like what? Like other than Final Fantasy, the cream of the crop for Square Enix. Like, what are y'all doing over there? Because what they seem to be doing for like the last obviously possibly few years, but just within this last year, it seems like they're like pushing themselves away from tons of different people. And not only are they doing it, but they're doing it in kind of a messy way because they're very vocal about it. And it's kind of cringy because not only were they really vocal about like People Can Fly, what was it, Guardians of the Galaxy,
yeah.
All these things that they were vocal about, the Avengers, like it seems like it almost seemed like before that they were cutting ties with the West and trying to involve themselves even harder in the East, where they, where they're from, where they play the most ball. And now it's just like, wait a second. So you didn't want the West. The East, you're saying, isn't really getting you your money back. What are you doing? Like, what's the plan? What's the plan? Like, to be frank, I don't really care because I'm not a big Square Enix fan. But it's really interesting to watch somebody move like this because it's just like, what are you expecting to come out of your statements? Because you're saying some pretty brash things that might not go over very, very well. And you already have a history of pissing people off. So, like, why would you smack your own community in the face and say, hey, you guys ain't worth it for us?
Yeah, no,
that's wild to me.
that is wild. So what I'm saying, that's the thing right now, and that's why I'm over here looking to see if the video game made any profit or anything. But this is the thing as well, though. They had to deal with Disney, and Disney sucks up all that money. So like even with people,
nobody wants to say that on the PlayStation 5 side that Disney's getting actually a ton of that Spider-Man cash. It ain't going, so much of it's going to PlayStation as you think. This is actually a Disney IP, so Disney got to get their money first, and then PlayStation can do what they want with their money.
Right. So like I don't know. It's not. It's pretty. Let's see. It said. It say they did it again. It says Square Enix claims Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy has undershot sales expectations, and that was in February of this year. I don't know. This is the thing. They constantly cry wolf, so you don't know what's going on? Is this a ploy
That
for?
reminds me of Google.
Pretty much, yeah. Is it one of those things to where Square is trying to solicit themselves to the West by saying, hey, we have a whole bunch of IPs if you're interested in that. If not, then, hey, maybe we're up a bit. What if the Sony Sony Square talks didn't pan out, and now they're out here like, oh shit, we got rid of our Western division, and now we're kind of stuck in limbo, and the only thing that we have really that we know that could generate money is Final Fantasy, because the fact that we're getting the bag from Sony from that, but we're hurting overall sales, because if we make that game multi-plat, it would make a lot more money than what it did. So I don't know, but Viper, I see that you're in here, man. What is your thoughts about this? This is so weird, where Square Enix is coming out and saying, look, man, who are they saying this to? I don't know, they're making the point of saying that Japan is just not living up to the expectations of what they want. But is this soliciting themselves for something else, or what? What do you think?
Right before he goes, I just want to say that they were talking all that mess about the Western publishers, and oh man,
right.
Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy didn't do that well, and then they dropped Babylon's Fall, and then they're like, we redact them statements.
Oh, that's right, because they were the publisher of,
they're the publisher for Babylon's Fall,
because
the worst game.
Oh my goodness. Right.
Well, as you know, and once again, thank you for letting me join the show.
Oh yeah,
but
no problem.
You know, I'm gonna jump on what Ham Solo said. Well, let me do this in terms of a market capitalization aspect.
Okay.
In 2020, Square Enix market cap was $7.24 billion. In 2021, it dropped to $6.12 billion. In 2022, as of now, it is $5.2 billion market cap. They are hemorrhaging money.
They fall like a comet.
Damn right. You damn right.
Wow.
So the fact is, they just lost their Western division. And I actually tweeted this back out to you as a response.
Oh.
But they lost their Western division. They have had bombs in terms of games that they've released lately.
Oh yeah, DioField
Babylon
did not do well on anything.
Exactly. And now Forspoken seems to be a little bit rocky. A lot of people are not liking this direction that they're going in.
Yeah, Valkyrie, which was a PlayStation exclusive, didn't do well. Oh my goodness. Okay,
so
continue.
Let's go ahead and look at this from an overall financial perspective. Usually when companies are in trouble, there's someone to either swoop in and pick them up, or the company folds and sells off all their assets. Now, we can look at this from the standpoint of, okay, this gives rise for Sony, Microsoft, Tencent, or even Embracer Group. They already sold, some of their stuff to Embracer. Could they possibly sell to Embracer the rest of it and say, hey, we're going to be all one family again? Or could they be like Konami and just start, licensing their products off to other companies and make their money back that way?
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, they look like they're getting ready to sell or fold. And I honestly see Square Enix, they shot themselves in the foot with this one. You want to turn your back on the Western division. You want to turn your back on the rest of the world, and you say you're going to focus on Japan. And now Japan is not giving them enough money. So now you're going to turn your back on Japan and say, we want to focus on the West. What is it? What do you want to do? I mean, this sounds like and I hate to say this about you Geminis, but this sounds like a Gemini.
Oh, damn.
So,
yeah, Geminis.
I mean, y'all crazy as hell. But, I mean, hey, we got to find the yin and yang in all this. See, I'm a Libra, so I got balance. Square
Oh
Enix
my
ain't got
God!
no
Listen to
balance
this.
whatsoever.
Well, they don't have no
So
balance. I don't know if they're a Gemini or some or
no, they're
whatever, but
Gemini.
I don't know. You know what? I don't know if I've ever dated a Gemini. No, I've never
Oh, they
like had
crazy as
a
hell.
relationship. I mean, had relations with a Gemini, but never had a relationship with a Gemini. You know, Sagittarius, Scorpios. See, that's my
Oh, Scorpios are
Scorpio.
sex fiends.
Right. And if you know about the mighty Virgo, which is I, you know what I'm saying? We are calculating and very yes, and very passionate. So anyway, so what up, Farscape? What up with your Rain? What up with your Orange? You know what I'm saying? I see Jay Slayer up in here, man. And of course, the mighty Sleepy Goblin, as always. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate it, man. Appreciate you guys coming through. I seen Game Down Sights in here as well. Share this out, like, do all that, man. Really appreciate it. For me, it definitely looks like that they're trying to solicit themselves. I think that they played their hand a little bit too much. And again, even if they, this is just showing how critical that the industry really is. And the old guard out there is willing to be purchased. That is what's really, if we're seeing this. Now, Capcom is a different situation. Capcom was right there last gen, but it was because of their new engine and what was the game that got them out of there? The Monster Hunter, when they went multi-plat. And then, of course, the Resident Evils got them back into a place where I think that they're comfortable and they don't need, they're fine where they're at. But the Square Enixes, you're looking at, Sega looks like it'll be in a good spot. But others, Activision, listen, I said this last week and I'll continue to say this. If that deal does not go through, Activision is going to fold. They got too many lawsuits. They got too many things going on. And I feel that Square's bag is put their chips all in a row by doing these deals and thinking that PlayStation is going to get them to the promised land with the Final Fantasies, and it doesn't look like that's the case because Final Fantasy VII Remake did not outsell Final Fantasy 15. And the people, the people will come and say, well, no, you will, of course, dummy, because of the fact that it was a multiplat. That's the case. You see, and that was the topic that we were going to originally talk about, the first topic, and that was saying that what Sega said was that their Japanese-based games are selling well globally. So now they're reconsidering their thought process of that these games do not sell in the West or globally. Square Enix.
Oh, but wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Sega said that no, they're selling and they have Game Pass to thank for that.
Well,
come on now.
Well, no. That's a part of it too. But I'm just saying in the sense of what they're saying. But see, Square put their and they have a long relationship ever since they were SquareSoft with Sony. Sony owns a majority of that. Well, not a majority, but a big part of their stocks at one particular time. So therefore, they're close. So that's why I just see that this is where Sony can. This is the best opportunity for Sony to get them. But now I don't know. Do Sony really want them? Because the only thing that I feel that Sony really wants from them is Final Fantasy and maybe a couple of other IPs. But for the whole, all the rest of the IPs that Square Enix has, does Sony really care about Square Enix like that to invest for the whole company?
Like I said, they're going to turn out to be something like Konami, where they would sell off their IPs or sell off portions of their company or lease out certain things to other people.
Like Konami.
That's a possibility. Yeah.
It is definitely a possibility. What do you think, Ham Solo? You think that this is that kind of like that's a possibility that they might turn into the Konami side of things? Or do you think that they're really trying to solicit themselves for somebody to buy them, the top bidder?
Well, I 100% think they're trying to solicit themselves at this point, and I think as soon as this, Xbox and Activision thing goes through, that's when Sony does their version of striking back and grabbing up Square Enix, because Square Enix says they want to be able to be well-rounded and in many people's eyes, whether you love it or not, Sony is well-rounded for someone like Square Enix. And for them to be able to use their developers to create a game may pan out better for them when they're trying to make or help out to publish more Western RPGs and yeah. So that's kind of where I stand on that belief. I really think I really think this is kind of a long time coming kind of thing from the way that they've been kind of beating around the bush with Xbox and whatnot. I feel like it's like it may sound goofy or whatnot, but I feel like Square just really doesn't like Xbox, and they don't really like anybody that like seems to like work with closely like with Xbox and whatnot. I mean, look at some of the recent IPs that dropped that were multi-plat that went to Xbox. They all got like hated on by Square Enix, like like the Avengers, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Outriders, and those are all games that slid right into Game Pass. And I think Square Enix thinks they're better than something like a Game Pass or something like that. They think that their games should be able to stand alone and and push the needle on their own. And that's kind of where I stand on it. It might be a weird out there belief, sure, but it really doesn't seem like they really care too much unless they're like under contract with like Sony or something like that, and then they don't really say anything.
But you know what? Here's the thing. They hate Game Pass so much that they have something similar. It's called their own versions of NFTs.
That's right.
Oh, I mean, they had some really interesting takes about NFTs in the last year. If you've been keeping up with them at all, they had some interesting takes.
What is Sony doing right now with their PlayStation Stars? What are those right now? What are those considered? Those are NFTs too. You purchase certain games, you get to a certain level, you get these digital things that's specifically for you.
What's crazy is my wife pointed that out before I even got close to it. Like she was like, I was telling her about the PlayStation Stars, and she's like, "Oh, it looks like they're building up NFTs right now." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like I was thinking she was just being out of pocket and just wild, but like, nah, man. She keeps up with the news more than I do because I'm usually like looking at gaming news or playing the video games themselves, and then she's more of like she's really big into the news because it's like part of her job to know that kind of stuff. So she really has to keep up with like legal stuff within her job, and when advising things at her job, she needs to be able to have like the the right contacts and come in the right in the right way. She can't come out there swinging like crazy, or else people wouldn't trust her as much. So just to hear that from her, and then like how the gaming community is with NFTs. Like the first thing you do is, you fight and ask questions later.
Right.
And so when I heard her say that, I was like, keep those out of my games, kind of like that. That's like the way I came at that. And she was like, no, I mean, if you look at it, and then she started describing how, pretty much what, like, she didn't have to tell me what an NFT was, but she was like, yo, like that is like, you're getting like a digital gift and it's supposed to be worth something.
Right.
That's an NFT. And I was like, well, that was simple. Well, thanks for putting it for me, sweetie. Thanks for like dumbing that down for me. But like, wow, like these companies really got me working for what they call rare, but is truly just a basic NFT.
Right. That's a great point. Your wife is on it. And this is another reason too that, like, briefly, that's the reason why I stand with the voice actress, because because even there was times like, well, maybe I am overreacting, but then I brought that situation up to her. And the first thing that came out of her mouth when I brought it up, then she was like, "Oh, and let me guess, the person that was my wife don't follow anything gaming, and she's, oh, let me guess, the person that she had to talk to is very misogynist, and maybe probably she had to probably talk to him in a certain way." And I didn't even say anything towards the sorts, and I'm like, well, actually, yeah, she made the point of saying that she had to speak to him in his language. She says, now what sense does that make when somebody is asking you to work for them, that you have to talk to them in a certain way to make them feel comfortable?
That's some sort of that's
a power
wild
trip.
power.
That's a power trip. That's what she was saying, misogyny. And so then she was like, and then she made up the point. And then when I said, well, the game made, what her point was it made 400 and some million, and she was like, oh, that game made that much, and how much was she getting? I said, well, she said 4,000, but people calling her a liar because to her first, it was between 15 to 20,000. She's like, shit, that ain't enough. And then so anyway, we had that long conversation about it, and so it made me my stance even more behind what I was thinking. So I feel you. You know what I'm saying? When your wife is sitting there hitting certain points, sometimes you just gotta, even if they're not in gamers, you ask a significant other or some friends or whatever that's not in the gaming space what they think about certain things. Then that kind of gives me, and I'm sure with others, you get a better perspective of maybe why that person or people do the things or say the things that they say. So, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I think that with Square Enix, back to that, I think they played their hands so much by crying, like I said, crying wolf, is that now they dogged out the West, and now they're over here just saying, damn, we got rid of the stuff that we did. So now we got no choice, and I agree with Ham on this one. I don't think that they want to be a Konami. I think they just want to get purchased so they can still feel comfortable. Because if they don't, then they're going to fold, or they're going to probably sell off IPs that for a little bit of nothing until they are cheap enough for Sony to say, well, we'll just go ahead and get you. And maybe Sony is sitting there waiting for that, because maybe Sony sees that. I mean,
actually, you know what? I'm going to say something that's going to be not popular. I would actually like Tencent or Embracer Group to get them, because everything will be multi-plat, that it will never be exclusive to Sony. So I think we should have Embracer or Tencent get Square Enix and just make it multi-plat, no special deals whatsoever to nobody.
I'm not feeling that.
You're not? I
know it's not popular.
Okay, all right.
No, I'm not feeling that. The only reason I don't feel that is because those companies, although, yeah, I hear you on the whole third-party thing, and they're probably trying to make as much money as they possibly can, but
we cannot get away from Sir X-Man. We thought we got rid of him. I'll play it anyway. What's up, Sir X-Man? Go ahead. Finish up. I'm sorry.
So I don't know. It seems like if somebody as big as Embracer or Tencent were to, like they just come out with a couple devices. Try them out, spread them out, and then, I mean, they're so dang big that if they started ripping IP off of other consoles, that I mean, to me, they'd be more worrisome than like people are claiming Microsoft is worrisome or something like that. I don't really see them. I don't really see them making a device anytime soon, but I'm just saying, like, just to be like that wild skeptic, like, I think that could be insane if they pick up a whole publisher like Square Enix.
I don't know
if
Tencent,
Embracer.
Yeah.
Oh, go. No, I was about to say Embracer I don't see them making a console. I would
No.
see them saying, oh, okay, we're going to have our streaming service and we'll market it out to other companies who wants to carry the streaming service, similar to like what EA is doing. But I think more a Tencent would have the money to try to do the R&D for a console or like a mobile device.
I don't see. Yeah, that's what more I think the Tencent would be about is the mobile device, not a console. It is it costs the.
Y'all hear me?
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can hear you now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. We hear you.
His age showed on appearance.
I know, right? He looked like he's on a speakerphone and he hit the button. And he like, what's up, Sir X-Man? What's going on, brother?
I just got to clear my throat real quick on this damn thing real quick.
All right.
Okay. Y'all need to blame nobody else. Truck coming by. Hopefully y'all don't hear it.
We don't.
All right, that's good. When I going by real fast on purpose. Let me clear my throat on this Square Enix shit real quick, then I'm gonna jet. All right, people. Square Enix needs to blame this shit on nobody else but fucking Sony. You went in the bag with Sony. You Sony's favorite fucking friend, but in the end, Sony ain't your damn friend. They don't give a crap about you. You've been used. You've been abused. And they ain't got your back. You had good games that weren't Final Fantasy. They didn't really advertise right for. But what did you do?
That is true.
You stayed on Sony's nuts. And what happens when you stay on somebody's nuts? You get hurt in the end eventually if they ride it too hard.
You get beef curses.
That's all I got to say on this situation. Now you broke in the bank. And now you're looking for, oh man, America, can you save us? Can you save us? And we like, why is the train going by right now? Asshole. But, you know, they brought that upon themselves. And now they hurting. Like I heard Viper say, they've been losing money, draining money, shredding money. And for the past few years, you know, you've been putting out rinky-dink games that's supposed to be multiplayer, but you didn't put the money in to make the multiplayer good. That's your fault. That's Sony's fault for not helping you out with some cash to develop this damn game. You can't blame it on nobody but yourself. That's why you had to shred out some of the games that actually were making money, but you didn't want to make games that were based in America's world. Games that Americans like. You had to get rid of those studios. Now look at yourself. All you got is Final Fantasy. That's it. That's it. I'm done. I'm going back to work. And I'm going to listen to the rest of the show. Thanks, guys. Catch y'all on the flip.
We'll appreciate it. All right. So if you live from work and you got one of those clear my throat moments, then you just go ahead and let us know, Sir X-Man. Just hop on in, man. It's no problem. No problem. But I appreciate you listening,
oh, man. That was a tornado coming through.
That was.
They released the Mogwai.
They fed the Mogwai at work. That's crazy. But okay, so listen.
One thing I wanted to point out though, real quick, was that that's why with them saying that, I just thought that maybe they're looking to sell themselves as a PlayStation is because look at like they say more of a wide open market, and right now the most like wide open market seems to be like America, like or like not America but just like the West.
Yeah, really. Right.
So like I mean and look at where PlayStation has most of like a good majority of their studios. It's in America.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Santa Monica, they got like what was that? Dang, man, I had a bunch of them right off the top of my head, but I forgot. But a lot of a lot of them I know are up in America, so I would totally see them being able to mesh together well. And a lot of the people already, and this is wild. A lot of people already have that sentiment that like Square Enix is kind of PlayStation.
Mhm.
Like a lot of people act like Square Enix is already with PlayStation.
Oh yeah.
So like I just could totally see that finally
Well,
just happening.
yeah, no, I like I said, that seems like to be the perfect marriage. But again, like this, but that's what I'm saying. Like this is so weird for them. Like it is, they're definitely soliciting themselves. So obviously they want to sound like their new bosses, which is Sony, or something between Sony and Square Enix is just not jiving. And I'm gonna tell you this right here: it's only if Forspoken doesn't sell well, or if this next Final Fantasy that drops next year doesn't and those sales still don't aren't combined with Final Fantasy 7 remake and with this with I guess it's Rebirth or whatever this new one that's going to be in 23, that doesn't still that still those sales don't match what Final Fantasy 15 made or do better. Where is going to be in some trouble. Because I'm hearing PlayStation fans that saying they're not even interested in Forspoken. Still interested in the game. I just hate the fact that the game is going to be that it's exclusive to just one console. I would like to have it. I would like to, of course, play it on my Xbox, but I mean, I'll most likely probably pick it up on PC. But I'm hearing they even play. You listen to like some PlayStation guys, they'll just say like, nah, man, I'm probably going to skip on that, and I'm probably going to pick this, that, whatever the third up.
Which is wild to me because I think that game looks fun.
It does look fun to me. It looks like it's going to be really cool. But again, the problem is that I think that the reality is that there might be a Final Fantasy fatigue. Not for Final Fantasy 7, for the most part, for the remake, because that's a continuing story. But then you're going to also have Final Fantasy 16. Now you got a game like Forspoken that's still kind of that's still going to be in that same type of Final Fantasy-esque universe. Maybe gamers are just looking at this as like, man, hold on, okay, you hit me up for $70. I know that there's a lot of PlayStation fans that just won't say that, but you're going to have Forspoken, you're going to have Final Fantasy 16 dropping in, you're going to have Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Bruh, I'm only going to get one or two of those games. I'm not getting all of them. The hardcore will, but the majority of people aren't. Because you're still going to have Call of Duty. You're still going to have other games that's going to be dropping that other people have interest in. So, you're going to get your next years of, because college football is going to drop next year. You're going to have your Madden come back. You're going to have 2K come back. You're going to have whatever else comes back that is annually that people jump on. You're going to have your baseball coming back. So it's like, it's a discussion that I talked about on next podcast, and I think I also said the same thing on Spooky's podcast Wednesday. Shout out to Spooky and for inviting me to come on there. Was basically the casual market is just not going to. Let's say, okay, even the hardcore, with these games all going up, these games are going to be affected. I mean, the gamers are going to those prices going up. Everything is going to be affected. And the casual market, they may be buying from 2 to 4 games a year. That's going to go down. That is going to go down because, believe it or not, that $70 price tag is going to make people say, I might just get 2. I might just get 2 games that I really want this year. So I don't know. Square Enix is in a pickle to me. Like, and you know what I'm saying? And like, I mean, if Sony pulled a rabbit out their hat, they pick up Square Enix. And then, of course, the rumors about CD Projekt Red, and then let's say they pick up People Can Fly, then that's a really good grab. That was some great grabs, actually. But
I think this situation right now with the games that's going on, with the exclusive games on PlayStation, I think this is like their prenup. So if these games do well, which some of them have not done well, if these games do well, they'll pick up Square Enix. But I see them milking that teat real dry before they try to pick them up.
Right, that's what I'm saying, right.
Yeah, they're trying to get all of that they can. I know that Square says, it sounds like Square want to be for the streets. That's what it sounds like to me.
They about the streets now.
Yeah, they want to be open. If they want to be open, they can be like one of my exes, okay? So all they got to do is, walk them streets, I think a certain person, what's his name? Oh yeah, that's right, Sean. Yeah, Sean 786. Shout out to him. He said that all they got to do is walk them streets. They know what to do.
Oh yeah, they know what to
Wash their
do.
bleach little hands.
Yep.
They put their hands out for Sony so much. They walk in them streets, and now Sony's like, oh no, you used up. Nah, we ain't gonna get y'all until we can get some good quality out of you. And then once we get the good quality, we just gonna let you die off. We'll take all your stuff and let you die out on your own. That's what they're probably gonna do. Square's probably done by this.
Oof. I mean, I almost can listen. It would be. It just seems to me when they're saying this, it just seems to me that like makes me think, was there a snag with the PlayStation and Square Enix conversation? I mean, because it's like what Ham Solo was saying. Like, I mean, everybody in their right mind looks. We're already. I mean, I said like, look, it is it's the perfect fit between Square Enix and PlayStation. You would think that maybe Sony is holding off because they're waiting to see what this Activision deal is going to do, and so then before they can say that they're going to get anything, because Microsoft might pop. I said, look, they just picked up a big publisher themselves, so that could be a part of the play as well. But Sony has paid a lot of money for these games. For Final Fantasy 16, for Final Fantasy, for Forspoken, and for Final Fantasy Remake, Rebirth, or whatever. If only one of those two games hit, and I mean like hit, Sony is going to probably be looking at that side eye, like you're saying. They're probably looking. I mean, it's just so weird, man. I don't know. EA could definitely be in play. Something I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Or then again, it could be that all these developers and publishers in Japan got that word from Phil Spencer and Satya Nadella, and they said, okay, fine. After Activision Blizzard is done, we'll make ourselves more presentable for you, and we'll make it cheaper for you so that you can come and get us. We want to be part of that Microsoft family. That could be a possibility.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Yeah, no doubt.
Because remember, they still shopping around for Asian markets.
Yes.
So it could be that on their little talks in Japan, they could have said, hold off on trying to sell to anybody else. After Activision Blizzard is done, you come to us. That could be a possibility. And plus, Microsoft is very, very well known for doing something like this, where you see a company that's struggling, and you swoop in and get them at the best possible time so that you get the best deal. So that could be another possibility where Microsoft says, hey, they're about to fail. We don't want them out of the business, but we can have them for Game Pass.
That would be insane. And what kind of bizarro world would it be if Sony picked up CD Projekt Red and then Xbox picked up Square Enix?
They couldn't pick up CD Projekt Red. No.
Listen, I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of PlayStation people out there, and again, they have missed the mark a million times. But Sony is going to pick up somebody big. I don't know who, and I don't know how many, but they're going to pick up somebody big. I just don't know who it's going to be. They don't have the money.
They're broke.
They ain't broke like
that. They
are broke.
They're
not broke like that. Broke. Ham Solo, tell this man that the Sony ain't broke like that. They're going to pick up somebody. They're going to pick up somebody big. They're going to pick up a big name.
Like for $250 million?
I'll never think that Sony's broke. They're going to, like, what I feel like a lot of these big companies do, especially in like a time of where another company like a Microsoft is going to stunt on you, like what they're trying to do, is you're going to pretend that you're broke. You're going to pretend like you ain't got no money. This dude is getting way more than he deserves, right? I'm over here hurting. I'm dying for a meal. But in reality, you first world having a problem. You having a first world problem. And you doing just fine. Like, that's the way I feel like Sony kind of makes themselves look like they're very needy, but in all actuality, they're kind of playing you a little bit.
I don't know. I
They
don't
got
know.
money.
I won't go that far, but I
They
won't go that far.
they got
bread,
money,
though.
but they got money. I mean, but like if you're asking me if they got Microsoft money, that's obviously no.
Well, no,
I mean, that's
I'm
an
not saying
obvious
that
no.
I'm not saying that, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they ain't got money like that in that aspect, but they got enough money to get like a Square Enix.
No, they definitely got money to get Square Enix and to pick up CD Projekt Red. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they got enough money to pick up even both of them, I believe, because I don't think CD Projekt Red is going to be that expensive. In the sense of that, I'm just saying that though, like in a bizarre world.
Oh no, their stock is up right now.
And you could be right. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
CD Projekt
I don't know.
2.44 billion. That's their market cap right now.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see what's going on. Like I mean, this is very interesting. I don't know what's going on right here. And like I said, if you didn't listen to the show earlier, I told you guys when you watch the gameplay, I apologize in advance for my gameplay for Gotham Knights because I just recorded something earlier today, and I haven't played it since the game launched, and so I just wanted to just get some gameplay to go, but I forgot how to do shit. So I was like, oh my God, wait till you see what I do with Nightwing. It's awful. So yeah, you can go ahead and ridicule me. It looked bad. I hated it. So when I come with my next gameplay with Gotham Knights, it will be legit.
I'm not playing this game until they come out with the patch for 60 FPS.
Man, I'm telling you, man, to hell with that 60 FPS. This shit is fire.
Man, but didn't I told you on this podcast that they're going to be doing some sort of patch. Everybody was saying, I don't think
everybody. Yeah, no, go ahead, him.
You already know, like we said this. This is gonna
even
like
the
this
PC
is gonna
version
happen.
is terrible.
What'd you say? The what?
Even the PC version is terrible. You see the Digital Foundry?
No, I don't pay attention to digital. I do not pay attention to digital. I mean, I met the one guy with the glasses. He seems like a very nice gentleman. Well, they both got glasses. The younger guy, the younger guy, the guy that came on to your show, Ham. I forget what his name is.
Oh, John.
Yeah, John
Letterman.
Very nice guy, but I do not listen to them. It's propaganda to me. Like you know what I'm saying? Listen, the games they're very selective for certain games when they want to show something, and I don't know, man. Listen, I get it. I am not tripping or disputing. It's just like what I said before about Gotham Knights. If you want those 60 frames per second, then just wait. But don't dog out the game and saying that it's trash, that it's this, that it's that.
Oh, I'm not dogging the game.
No. I'm not talking about just you, but I mean, Ham, you know, when I had this discussion, when I've been capping for this game since before it even came out, when people since last year, or even before that, when they showed it like 2 years ago. But I was saying, like, look, man, I'm not tripping about the 30 frames because as console gamers, this is what we do. We play games at 30 frames. They will add a patch later. So if you know what I'm saying? So I am proud of the community that's coming out and saying, look, man, this game is too damn cold. I got to keep playing it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I was saying. Like, don't dog the game out saying that it's absolutely horrendous because the game isn't. It's just that it's capped at 30 frames per second, or, you know, it's at 30 frames per second. I don't know if it bounces around or whatever, but you know, it's not, you could tell the one reason why it was especially on PC, while the game is not optimized properly or whatever the hell the terminology is because they were trying to make the game for everything, for the old hardware and for this hardware and PC, and they didn't have the time to finish. And maybe they didn't have the budget either because of the fact that the publisher gave them a year. They had to get that shit together. And so they were like, man, we want to target 60, but it's going to take too much time. Well, you better drop this shit now. The way, you know what I'm saying? Is it working? Yeah, yes, sir. It's working. It's good. It's good. Well, then you get that shit out there.
If that's the case if that's the case that they were going to program for everything, then why are the current gen consoles so terrible? And not terrible in terms of gameplay, but in terms of performance. Because if you try to program for Xbox One, PS4, Xbox One X, PS4 Pro, you know, you had to figure out how to optimize for each one of those, plus what we have currently now. But now you drop those, that means the current gen should be a lot more powerful where you could do all of the extra stuff. The PC has many different iterations. And so to call the Series S the problem, now I have a big problem with that.
That's a lie. Yeah, no, it's not. That's what I'm saying, because the Series S is comparable to, like I said last week, the Series S is comparable to the PlayStation 5. So if you're going to call the Series S a potato, then you better call the PlayStation 5 a potato. Which potato that you call it? I don't know if you call it waffle fries or you call the other one French fries, but it's a potato either way you want to slice. You can say it's a baked potato or you can say it's scallops. But regardless, if one is a potato, then the other one is a potato as well. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I see
nothing to do with that.
I see the Series S outperforming the PS5. So right. I mean, the PS5 is definitely the potato in that aspect.
I just think that, and I don't like the fact. And look, like I said, I've gotten plenty of pushback from it. But I don't like the term of saying that the devs are lazy. They just didn't have enough time. I mean, we see the same thing. I mean, would we call the 343 devs lazy? I wouldn't call the 343 devs.
Some people would.
Oh, of course they would, but would you really think that they're lazy? No, I think they just didn't have the time. And then, of course, all the chaos that we heard about. I apologize for this horrendous stuff that I was doing with with a bad girl. I was like, what am I doing? What's the button? Oh shit! I was just flipping, trying to just get out of it. Oh, it was horrible. It was garbage. Garbage game.
King of the A button.
I was using that A button like a motherfucker, but I was, oh my God. Anyway, but I apologize in advance. I will definitely have some more gameplay of Gotham Knights right. But this ain't the bad shit. Wait till you see I play Nightwing. That's what was the bad thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just showing this gameplay to show you I'm human. That's all. Anyway,
but in terms of like the developers, it's not I wouldn't say that the developers are lazy per se.
Right.
When it goes to 343, I would say mismanagement and too many outside contractors. Okay. Mismanagement, too many outside contractors. But when it comes to WB Montreal, I don't know. I have.
The same thing was said about. The same thing was said of them when they made the other Batman game, the Origins. Origins. And now everybody loves Origins. This is the same thing. And me and him said the same thing about, like, they're going to patch it later. That's how they do it. All these games. Tell me a game that they haven't that they come out and it wasn't right and then they patch it. Hell, Biomutant, which I love Biomutant, but that game had very bad issue. It had serious issues. They patched it up. It took 2 years, but they patched it up. Cyberpunk. That's the most known, recognizable game. Hell, they were supposed to be patching up The Witcher 2. I mean, The Witcher 3. But then, you know what I'm saying, they got caught up because they had to try to do the work for Cyberpunk. So, you know what I'm saying? So we had to get delayed on that. Look, they're spread thin. Like, there's a shortage in developers out there. And I mean, I've seen it. I see those I see it in LinkedIn all the time where people are trying to find developers. There's a shortage. So I don't know. But this isn't about Gotham Knights. This is about which one.
Well, I also think that it's more in terms of they have the tools that Microsoft has provided for the system. They're not using the RDNA tools that's out there. Now, and people can debate whether or not PlayStation is RDNA 2 or 1.5. 1.5 is actually it. But they still have certain RDNA features that they could use on both consoles, and they're not using them. They're still working off of the old generation, and that's why this cross-generation stuff has to stop, because you want to continue programming the old way when there's new techniques and new tools that are available for them to use, and I don't see them using it. Where's the sampler feedback? Where's the velocity architecture? Where's the variable rate shading? Where's all of this stuff to make you have more performance in your games?
You're not going to see that until later on, until the generation. That's why I say that this generation is going to be longer than what people think, because that stuff is probably about 4 or 5 years away. It's not now, because they're still going to be putting games on the older hardware until they feel that this generation is caught up into making profit in sales for the consoles. That's just my opinion on it. But anyway, let's not stay on this because we got some other things that we want to talk about. And you brought up a point that that's a later topic, but I do want to talk about the thing when I was it was kind of a segue, but it got shot down. So I'm bringing it up again. And that was the situation with Sega when they said that Japanese-based games are seeing success on other platforms. And of course, like you alluded to earlier, Game Pass contributes to that as well. I'm gonna go to you on this one, Viper. Why all of a sudden the change of heart? Is it because of services like Game Pass, or is it just the fact that maybe people maybe somebody there in management has finally started to open their eyes and see that, look, games, certain like third-party IPs really shouldn't be all about being exclusive anymore, especially as much games cost now these days. Should it be to where they're thinking like, okay, this is the new normal. We need to put our games on other platforms because Soul Hackers 2 did better than what they expected. Of course, Persona 5 is doing much better than what it expects. Striker did well. Persona Striker, if anybody played that, which is really good. And then just countless other games that Sega has pushed out. They're like, oh, we are starting to see the light. So what do you think, Viper? Is Game Pass one of the main drivers, or do you think it's just overall just people are just more accepting to Japanese games?
All right. You ever had somebody that you pull up on and you say, oh, damn, she's fine.
All
and
time.
You know what? And her legs is just closed off. You ain't getting none. But then you decide, oh, okay, fine. But the next day, you pull up in a like this $100,000 vehicle. Let's call it a Viper. My namesake.
That's my favorite car.
Exactly.
I like the Viper too, to be honest with you. Yeah.
But you pull up.
Did we lose him?
I think so. I think the women out there cut his ass off.
Yep, he was being messy.
Yeah, he was being messy. He was over here messy because he was definitely gonna be slanderous. The lady said, "No, shut that shit down."
Good. Oh my goodness.
You gonna have to fix your mic. You got to fix your mic. Okay, well, until he gets his what's going on?
You hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you now.
All right. So the Japanese market, they close their legs off to everybody else, but now they're seeing that the Western market, they want these games. They want to be enveloped in the Japanese culture as well. So as soon as they start seeing that extra money coming in, because they were only going to be exclusive to Nintendo and to Sony. But then, of course, you got Microsoft and Game Pass, and it's so readily available. I mean, come on now. Hey, it's time to spread them legs. Come on, let everybody in. Let's be a swinging door.
You are serious about these legs opening, man. Good Lord.
That's
man.
right. Because
ladies,
you know
help
what?
my brother out. Man.
Because I mean, think about it. Square Enix, they want something wider. They're looking for a broader market. So I'm thinking here, Sega saw that Microsoft money and they said, oh, well, hello, Microsoft. Would you like to come get us now? We're kind of struggling. Sony ain't doing too well out here. And Nintendo, they got a little niche market. So come on, Microsoft, can you kind of get us on the Game Pass? And oh, yeah, we got some more sales. Oh, cool. More money in our pockets. Come on, Microsoft, come get us. That's what it is. They just want the money. They see that if they are multi-plat, they'll get more sales. If they stay closed off into one environment, they're not going to make as much money. So for any of these third-party publishers / developers that want to stay on Sony's platform, let's look at Yakuza and Persona. They were only on PlayStation. Maybe once in a while you saw stuff on Nintendo and Xbox, but you didn't see mainline stuff on there. So now that the mainline stuff is on Xbox and it's now coming to Nintendo's Switch, I mean, think about it. They're going to make a lot more money. People are going into Game Pass to get it. People are actually buying it. As a matter of fact, sooner or later, I'll pick up Persona 5 because I've started playing it. I like it.
That's good.
As soon as Persona 3 and 4 come out, I'll get those.
Yes.
So the fact is, Game Pass allowed me to play something that I would have not played before because I didn't want to go buy a PlayStation just to get it. I mean, I've had PlayStations before, but I didn't want to go and spend money on it. Game Pass allowed me to try something out before I bought it. And now, because I was able to try that out with no extra money out of my pocket, now I'm going to buy it because I want to own it. That's the same thing I did with the Yakuza series. I have every last Yakuza series downloaded to my console.
Me too.
Because I liked it so much that I bought 0, Kiwami 1 and 2, and then when they did the pack for 3, 4, 5, and 6, bought those. Got Like a Dragon as well. And then as soon as these other ones come out, Ishin Like a Dragon, I'll get that one too. Sega knows where the bread is now going to be buttered, and it's with Microsoft. You put your games out on every platform, and you will get money, plain and simple. That's the reason why they're saying it's doing better in the Western market, because it's readily available to everybody else.
Cam, you agree with that, or do you have a different take about what Sega released?
So, I mean, I think he has a lot of great points. I mean, the money is there, and they are reaping the benefits. They literally had all these Yakuzas on Game Pass, took them off, and went back for seconds.
They did. You're right. And I bought all of them after I was like, I'm gotta get them before they're gone. Let me get them all. You're right.
Right. So like, that was like an interesting money move, in my opinion, because it was like they made everybody stressed about that. I'm not even that big into Yakuza, and I've tried it, and it's just not my jam exactly. I'm still willing to continue to try it because one thing I've noticed about myself is my tastes tend to change sometimes. Like, I mean, it's like beer, like. I really enjoy me like a Lagunitas IPA, but every time I go out to drink, I ain't getting the same beer. You know what I mean? Sometimes I got a taste for like a Corona with some lemon, or with a lime or something like that. It's especially just the time of the year. So I mean, I feel games are very similar for me in that aspect. Like sometimes, like hell, it like the season's just right, and I'm playing this game or something like that. Or, you know what? Gaming's at a lull a little bit. I'm going to actually try some stuff out that I never like to play and see if I can get myself more into this genre. So I found myself beating games like that. But as to this game with the sales and whatnot, it's just like, yeah, like I said, they made a money move by taking that off of that, making everybody worried. Me thinking about, yo, do I like this game enough? Like, I don't really know. Like, I don't really enjoy it so much, but they're going to be taken off of Game Pass. So, like, this goes into my mind as just like a gamer. Like, I'm not sure if I love this game, but it's on sale right now. If I'm going to get it, I should get it now, or else I should just kind of forget about it. I chose this specific time to kind of forget about it. But they did the same thing with 2K. They put 2K 22 on there or something like that, and then they took it off, and I ended up buying 2K 23. And it is so like I see what Xbox is doing with that. They're kind of allowing themselves and the like publishers or developers of this game to be able to rip a game off of there, but still be able to put it back, which makes you like instinctually worry about, like, should I just go ahead and get this now? I didn't, but I ended up doing that for a different game. And now that it's back, I'm just like, wow, like I guess I do have another chance to give this a try and, think about it one more time. And that's what they're expecting you as a consumer to do. Like, hey, maybe it wasn't for you, but let's let some time go by a little bit again and see if you want to make this purchase a little bit longer down the line. And I bet it's working. I bet you it's working.
And let's not forget the same developer of the Yakuza series. What else did they do? Lost Judgment and Judgment.
Yep.
And I bought those two. Those two weren't in Game Pass, but because I like Yakuza so much,
Absolutely.
I got Judgment and Lost Judgment as well.
Me too.
Yep. Sega is doing the right move. They're seeing how they can maximize their sales and also still get that Microsoft money by putting the stuff in Game Pass, see how much they get from there, pull it out, and then put it back in. So it's a pull out, pull it back in, open up those legs.
Oh, there you
yeah.
go.
I mean, they're definitely expand. Like I feel like if you're messing around with Xbox Game Pass, the number one thing that you're trying to do in the moment is expand reach. You want people to not only see you somewhere else or see you in a way that's like, man, this is an unbelievable deal. Like, because that's what a lot of people think of when they think of Game Pass, when they see the game, the kind of games they enjoy in it. Okay, right? Because not everybody sees it like that. Sometimes people look at it and they're like, I played a lot of these games. It's not the best for me. But for a person like myself, where it's just like, I do buy games. So like, it's nice to have something there that I don't have to pay, $70 to play something or $60 or $50 to play something that I'm not even sure about. That I mean, that's what Game Pass is essentially. It's like your safety net, your gaming safety net. Like, you will find something that you eventually like, but it may not be every single dang thing. Man, it's just really, this whole situation is pretty interesting and telling, because as much as people wanted to say, A, Game Pass isn't profitable, and B, Game Pass is, nothing but fodder, or this or that, like, just your fanboy takes. Like, you're seeing these big companies come out and say, yo, this is helpful. And you can't deny, like, although I may not love Yakuza, I cannot deny its greatness.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
And that's for other games out there as well, because, I mean, listen, people that don't like Game Pass can make the point of saying, well, you wouldn't have played Persona or you wouldn't have played Yakuza if it wasn't for Game Pass, but that's the whole reason for Game Pass.
That's the point of it.
That's the point of it. I mean, that's the whole point of just of giving the opportunity. I paid my money into Game Pass. Doesn't matter if it was that $1 when I first started, or if I got 3 years invested in three or more years invested into it. It's the thing that I paid the money to go ahead and try this out. Okay, so like a game, for instance, like Second Extinction. I haven't played that game in about a year and a half. Me and Don was playing. Yeah. Well, it's about to leave Game Pass. I got to get it. Like, it was just like what Han was talking about. Like, oh my goodness, I got to get this game. And it was the same thing with the Ascent. Like, I beat the Ascent.
Yep. And I got it too.
but I picked that up too. And just like I picked up the DLC. I look at this whole thing. The only thing that I might sit here and not buy day one or right away now is the first party. But if they come out with a different strategy, and we'll talk about that because we're going to get into what Phil Spencer talked about. But if their strategy with going into with their first party, which I liked what they did with Forza 5, where they like, okay, you already pay for Game Pass, but we'll give you an incentive. You pay $50-$60, or you pay $40 to $60 for the premium, so you can get all the DLC and all the seasons and everything else right there. So you're still so Microsoft is doubling their money, or even tripling or quadrupling it, because of the fact you're still giving them $40 to $60 and you're paying into Game Pass. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I did too.
Right. I didn't buy Forza 5. Now I will, because within the 3-year mark, they the 3 to 4 year mark, they discontinued the game. So therefore you got, because of the licenses, so you got to buy for it. So, but by that time it's like $10-15. Ain't no problem. So I'm like, okay, I'll just do it like that. Like with
they do that last ditch sale when they're about to get rid of it.
Right. And it was just like with now I did buy Gears 5 and all the DLC and stuff like that. But like for Halo, I never bought Halo Infinite. Now I spend a lot of money into the Halo because this is my reasoning for that. It's like I know that Halo Infinite's free to play, but I love the drip, so I'm going to be buying as much. I'm going to be spending money on it, so I know I spent more than what Halo Infinite the main campaign would cost. So I don't, and I'm paying into this service, so it's not a big deal. But if they go and they do that more often, which I'm pretty sure that they will, that's another incentive right there for what to get people on there, and for the Japanese games, which Sega is now on board. Which I'm going to make this point, and then, like I said, I'm going to move on to this next topic. Is the reason why Sega is all on board all of a sudden is because maybe Microsoft and Sega has a really special relationship. Now we understand about the super game that they're working with the Azure, but could this be a more special relationship, more like, something like what our boy Everborn Saga be hoping for, and others that maybe Microsoft has already talked to Sega and got that locked up? Because I never would have thought I ever seen Nuni on the mighty Xbox. I never thought I would see the day where I would see Nuni. That developer said, we will not put shit on X. We will not work with Xbox anymore. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it. Even when I was playing it and going through it, and I was like, wow, this is just blowing my mind. So and this is why I say this, if Xbox has not acquired Sega, right? Whatever the relationship that they got now is tight, so they don't need to get Sega, because they're going to be pulled. Because the more and more the Game Pass generates this type of publicity, or get the attention of Japanese-based games like this, or just games from the East in general, they don't have to acquire them. Game Pass is going to do all the work for them. And then they can spend that money on somebody else, like a CD Projekt Red or another Realm. I'm throwing my little hat out there, stuff like that. But I'm just looking at it from this standpoint. It's like, that was just it's just insane. Just within the first 2 years of this generation, Xbox has already done leaps and bounds with Game Pass already. And then the world itself is all gravitated to anime more than it's ever been. So of course that would make sense for people across the world to want to be invested into more Japanese titles. I just don't understand where their logic came from with them thinking that, other than for me thinking that Sony had such, Sony, Nintendo, and Sega at the time, even though Sega seemed to be more liberal than Nintendo and Sony, that they talked to them was like, look, we got to stick together. We have to have, we got to, we're big enough to where we can appease our fans, because these games aren't going to sell here. So this is why you need to cut me some slack and work a deal with me. That's the only way that I could see that's going on. Because this isn't. Look, you go back to the 360 and the PlayStation 3. There was a lot of people in the West that bought a ton of Japanese-based games, or that supported them or talked about them to where they're pop culture now. I just don't understand it. I don't understand what their logic was about. In the 90s,
I think
early 2000s, cool, but not now. Not in the 2010s and beyond.
No, I think what Sega sees is the writing on the wall, that the market leader is not going to be the market leader for long. They see that. They see that this industry shifts a lot. And at one point, you can stick with the market leader and say, hey, we're just going to put our games only on their console. Mm-hmm. They thought that that's going to work, but now they realize, no, there's no money in just sticking with the market leader, because the market leader can wane in terms of favorability for the public. People that are casuals, they're fickle. So they could be on one product one day and they'll go to another product the next.
Oh, yeah.
So You cannot focus on just saying, oh, I'm going to stick with the market leader, because the market leader can definitely damage not only their own reputation, but they can damage yours. And with what's going on right now with this whole Activision Blizzard deal and Sony crying like bitches, they are damaging their reputation. And with the stuff that they're doing that's anti-consumer, like with the marketing deals that they've got with Square Enix, the marketing deals that they have with Call of Duty right now, they're damaging the other company's reputation as well. So that's why you see Sega saying, hey, no, we're not going to do that no more. We'll get into bed with Microsoft because we had a long relationship with them since the Dreamcast. Okay, actually, no, since the Sega Saturn.
Yeah,
the Sega Saturn.
Sega Saturn, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you know the devil that you've been in bed with, fine. You know how they are, but you also know what the other devil is like too. So you go with the lesser of two evils, and right now it seems like Microsoft is the lesser of two evils compared to Sony.
No doubt.
See, I look at it a little differently. Okay. I look at it as if, like, I mean, you kind of said it earlier, Viper, where you said Sega's going where their bread gets buttered.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
I feel like, yes, they're willing. In my opinion, I feel like they're willing to work with anybody. Like, yo, you like you willing to pay up and work with us, or like how are you on accessibility, so we could like make sure that we're everywhere that we possibly can be. I mean, in my opinion, you look at what they're doing with dropping Sonic the same week as God of War. I mean, that's a flex right there. That's them saying, yo, we don't care about your first party stuff. We're everywhere. We're not on just your box. We are on your box, but we're also on a ton of other boxes.
That's right.
So we ain't worried about y'all. So I feel like what Sega's really doing is what we expect like a Square Enix to do, but Square Enix is out here being messy.
Right.
And that is the thing.
That's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a great point. That's a great point. All right. So let's go ahead and move on and talk about, because it's still kind of connected about what Phil Spencer said about Game Pass being profitable. Also, he also brought up that eventually that there's going to be a price hike. He said to console, he said to hardware and to and pretty much maybe to software, but he didn't give a definition of what what items or things that would be raised in price. Most likely we pretty much think we're all in unison thinking that it's going to be games. But here's a little thing that and we'll start off with the price hike stuff, and then we'll talk about the profitability of Game Pass here in a second. But for me, when he says like other entities will have to cost, well, if you're familiar with the console market, consoles depreciate. They don't gain prices. That's why it was so bizarre to me that Sony was like, yo, we're going to raise the price $50 on a console that's already been out for a year and a half. Like
Shocking.
that just don't happen. That's never happened, right? So I'm thinking, and I know we've seen this all over the place, and a lot of people says, no, there's really no need for that, except for maybe for PlayStation might need a mid-gen refresh, but I think that there really is going to be a mid-gen refresh for both consoles. And then of course, Nintendo is going to have their new console, or hybrid, or whatever people want to call the Switch 2, or whatever they're going to call it. So if they do come out with a mid-gen refresh console, I think that console is going to be $600. Because at that point, if you think, well, and that's because but hold on, listen to this reasoning. The Series S is going to be anywhere from 200 to 230. I mean, between 200 and 250. The Series X is going to drop to eventually 400 by that time that the mid fresh. Because if you see what what the picture showed of them having. I forgot what TV where that conference was. I forgot what TV brand that was. Where they had that conference where they were showing the mid refresh.
Was it TC?
TCL.
Yeah, TCL.
Was it TCL?
I think it was TCL, right?
Yeah.
Then you can come out because you already have the SKUs, and then of course, then we'll find out about Lockhart or whatever that the streaming little device is going to be, and how much that's going to. Keystone, that's right. Sorry, thank you for that. Lockhart was Series S. But that right there, you got enough. You have enough peripherals, right? Well, not peripherals, but you have enough units to where people can choose whichever ones they want. And of course, that whole crazy, stupid theory about, well, how are parents going to understand which is which? We are the parent. We know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hell, my mom is 60, 66, almost 67 years old. I'm 47. We the parents now. We are up in the age, so we are going to know. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying. So we're not the parents from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. We are the parents from the console age that knows which is which, because people know which TVs they want. They know what cell phones they want, what particular car, what kind of refrigerator or appliance or whatever, right? They know. So that part was ridiculous. But to me, I think that they'll have 3 to 4 different SKUs of something. And then, of course, they'll eventually go up on the games. Now, the question I'm going to ask you guys is, when do you think that Microsoft is going to raise the price of the games? Do you think that it could be potentially next year? Or do you think it's after the results, after the acquisition deal, and then the games will start to actually, from Call of Duty, start to drop on Game Pass? Do you think that and also do you think that will Game Pass get a price hike as well at that time, whenever that happens? So I'm gonna go to you first, Ham Solo. Do you like my theory about the mid-gen refresh, and what do you think about what other entities is going to be up in price? We know the games, but what else do you think?
So I 100% agree with you on the mid-gen refresh and the price and whatnot, because then it's like it's kind of like a Taco Bell menu at that point, you know, like you remember back in the day they did that 69, 89, 99, I
remember that commercial. I forgot about that commercial. God, you brought that back. Holy shit. Okay.
Lord have mercy.
But yeah, so it kind of gives me that kind of idea when I hear that. But I can really see both of these both console makers doing that, and then obviously Switch is going to do something to answer in a Nintendo way, you know, and who knows what that really means. So it'll be interesting. But as for like raising prices, I do see that happening, as he pretty much said they're going to, but like when I think that would be like a 20 like a mid 2024, like a summer kind of thing in 2024. So the reason I say that is because you're gonna get what this says is Xbox is showing confidence in the direction that they're going, with being able to say, yo, we do see our prices raising. I don't think this is a thing where it's like, yo, we're struggling, we're raising prices. It's no, like, we're seeing our worth in the way everybody else is kind of doing their thing. We feel like it's only fair to ourselves to not, you know, lose out, which that might not be the greatest thing to hear as a consumer, but it's just the reality of being in business. You're going to take maybe a loss for a little while, but the plan is to be in the same realm as these other businesses when it comes to making money and stuff like that. So I totally see that coming. And the reason I choose 2020, like mid 2024, is because Xbox will finally, like, everybody's been waiting. Everybody's been saying it. Like every year, it's coming this year. It's coming this year. And we talked about and had our disagreements about like the stigma of Xbox and whatnot. And I really feel like they do think 2023. Beginning of 2024 could be magnificent to the point that you're going to see that price go up and not sweat it. You're going to look at that. You're going to look at the games that they got. Hopefully, what's that game?
Perfect Dark or
Hellblade, Perfect Dark, Avowed, Starfield, Fable,
Redfall,
and then. Redfall, and then on top of that, they say,
NXL,
"Yo, we're dropping all past and all past, but maybe not the latest version of Call of Duty into Game Pass." So you have all of those Call of Duties and the Activision games and whatnot, and then you're gonna see all of that, come to fruition. You even got a streaming stick. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like you got you got so much stuff under your belt, including third-party deals. You got games like Liza P in there, day one. I mean, you got these really good titles, critically acclaimed titles. So like when that price hike goes to like, I said this on a show you were on the other day, but I think it's going to be like $16.99 for your basic Xbox Game Pass, like ultimate kind of deal, and then you're going to see the family pass like at $25, and then who knows, they may come out with some other tier that's even more crazy or something like that. I don't know, but the way that they're moving is with extreme confidence and maybe a little bit of prejudice. I mean, they're moving with extreme aggression is probably the better way that I could that I could actually put it, because they ain't messing around. They're actually, and it's interesting because most years that you looked at Xbox within the last, I'd say, let's go with about 10 years. Let's be real, about 10 years. The way that Xbox looks now compared to like 10 years ago is they look certain.
Oh yeah.
Certain is something that they haven't looked like since mid-generation of the 360.
Right, because even at the end of the 360, they didn't look certain.
No, they had the Kinect and they're like, all right, so what do you do with this thing? Hey, let's try Fable. Oh shit, that was a dud. Like they were just throwing things at the wall hoping that it sticks. And at this point, it's like they have a direction, they have the backing for it, they have the confidence, and they got the cash. And that's a dangerous assortment of weapons right there.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. What about you, Viper? I mean, you grunting like you over here preaching. So let me know what you think. What is he on point with his strategy? Do you think that it's going to be probably maybe 2024, or do you think it's somewhere before then or after then for the price hikes? And what do you think there will be the things that will be heightened in price? Oh Lord! Just talk. Let's talk. Well,
I didn't know. It's Friday, not Sunday.
I wasn't ready for it, but I mean that's okay. You know
so all right, this is what this is how I think. I mean, I agree 100%, but I'm adding some more on there because we're gonna get up to 1,000% here.
Okay, all right, nice. He said
this is what Microsoft has said. This is what Microsoft has said. The first 2 years is going to be cross-platform. They're going to support the Xbox One generation for the first 2 years. After that, they're going to go into next gen. So far, as of November of this year, which it hasn't come yet, it will be 2 years. So that cross-generation is over and done with. by November 7th, was it that they released it last in 2020? I think it was November 7th. But the fact is, as of this November, you probably won't see any more first-party Xbox One titles. And the fact is that the prices that we are seeing now that are $60 and under, yes, they are going to go up. I do see Game Pass going up. The base Game Pass that we're going to have, that probably might be 15. So it will have Xbox Live. They probably get rid of Xbox Live and just have it incorporated with just Game Pass as a whole, just like what they did with PlayStation Plus. But remember, each level, they're going to have different things in it. So I can see minimum to start off with, it'll be 15. And that'll include PC Game Pass and console Game Pass at the base level with Xbox Live. Then I see the $20 version, which is Game Pass Ultimate. That'll be everything that we have now, plus more of the Activision Blizzard stuff that's coming into play. And then in the $25 one, or maybe it might be $30, that'll probably be the family Game Pass, where you have up to 5 accounts on there. So I see that's the path that they're going. And in terms of the $70 games, I've heard it before, and unfortunately, we lost that battle. $70 games are here to stay, unfortunately. And I can already tell you right now, there's already evidence that Microsoft has raised the prices on their games. And they started with Bethesda. Because if you look on the Nintendo Switch, what is the one game that Bethesda released on the Nintendo Switch just recently that is $70?
Okay, that's Skyrim, right?
Yep.
Okay, now
so
there's a little misconception with that. Okay, so the game is originally $40,
right?
And so it's I explained it for how that it was that somebody told me what it was, because I was like, why is it $70? But it was a couple of weeks ago. I explained
Nintendo doesn't drop their prices. No, that ain't it. Because there's other games that come out that drop in price on Nintendo platform.
No. This is Nintendo doing what Nintendo does, right? Okay, so for people that have the game already, it's only $30. It's only $20 to $30 for the upgrade. Nintendo has not dropped the price of it, so therefore, when you buy the whole thing, it's $70 and not what games normally depreciate. But Nintendo don't let their games rarely depreciate, and especially if they're third party or whatever, if they're third or second party deals, those games don't drop. Very.
I remember seeing the third party games drop, not first party. First party never drops unless they're like, okay, we can go ahead and drop.
But it's only dropped by what? $19, $15 or something like
20,
that. Like
$20, yeah.
Yeah, $20 at the most. But you'll see games that like that don't sell or don't get, let's just say Spyro HD or something like that. Yeah, now that's going to depreciate.
Right.
But a game like that, obviously it still sells enough for Nintendo to say, nah, we're not dropping no price on it. And so that's where the misconception is because the game normally any and everywhere else drops price, but that game has not dropped the price on it. So that's Nintendo that's making that decision to say, look, we're going to recoup whatever money that they get. If they didn't buy the game back then, whenever that it was the game released, because the game released, I think, what, three years ago or something like that? I can't remember. But the game the game was like $50, $60 right off the bat. And then they did the normal charge of what everybody else got charged for the upgrade. It's just that Nintendo just never dropped the price, while the price that because mostly everybody that gives a damn about Skyrim, they got the game either at launch or they got the game, on a sale or something, and then you only pay, because I think it was what like $25, $30 or whatever for that upgrade. Because I bought that upgrade, but because I've never beaten Skyrim. So I've only played it just slightly. I put 5 hours in it, but I never really actually gave any true time to it. And I'm like, one day I'm going to see what all the hype is about with Skyrim. So I went ahead and I bought the upgrade. But that's the understanding. I think if I'm saying it right. But I talked about this on GRG and because people were explaining it to me and I was like, okay, all right, well, this is what their explanation was. So, but continue. I'm sorry. I'm just playing.
No. But I mean, that's a good explanation. But at the same time, it still starts the ball rolling because you just saw it on Switch where it's that $70.
Yeah.
Now I can guarantee you, Redfall and oh God, I forgot the space game. Yeah, thank you, Starfield. Just had a senior citizen moment at the time. But the fact is that you've got those two big games coming. Don't forget now there's Hellblade. You got Fable. You've got all these other games that are now about to drop that are next gen, well, this gen only. No previous gen to work with. I can see that now being $70. I mean, because here's the thing: those games are already $70.
That's soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's soon. Because remember, first 2 years, cross-gen. There's no need to charge you $70 for a cross-gen title. Now, when it becomes series only, series and PC only, then that's where the $70 will show up. But remember, we still got Game Pass. And Game Pass is a much more affordable option. But that's going to go up as well. And the thing is, if we are still stuck at 25 million people on Game Pass, it's going to go up. So that means more people need to buy into Game Pass so that the price can stay down. Because if more people buy into Game Pass and we get to 30, 50, 60 million people on Game Pass, that price will stay low. But if not that many people buy into it, it's going to go up higher. So the fact is they want to start with the games first, then they'll move to Game Pass if they don't see Game Pass going any higher. Then they'll go with the next console, not the Pro models, because I don't really feel like Xbox needs a Pro model. They're good with what they've got right now. But PlayStation, they may need a Pro model. In terms of like the next console that comes out, in terms of 2028, 2029, that is where I feel like, yeah, the $600 price point that you said earlier, I feel like Microsoft is probably going to have that $600 console, but they're also going to have a lower spec and lower price console at $400 too. So that way they're going to continue doing the two SKUs. So that way they would have the premium console and then they have the entry console as well. But just like Ham Solo said, what they're doing right now is a sign of confidence. And they're going to say that, hey, yes, our games are now going to be quality. We have enough people to work on games. We have enough companies and enough developers, enough publishers as well. We have the games. They're going to take some time because, if you want good quality, we're going to give all of the time that they need to make these games. Yes, they're going to cost more, but they're going to take a lot longer to develop, but we have enough to cover those long lengths of time before those next few games come out. So yes, they are going to raise the prices on the games really soon, and they're going to raise the price on Game Pass and the next console that comes out.
Okay. All right. This is why I feel that they're going to do the mid refresh for me personally. It's because of the fact that their narrative, Phil said, Sony, we will never be behind in the power narrative conversation ever again. Ever again. So if Sony does do a mid refresh, that mid refresh is probably going to be somewhere comparable to the X. It might not be more powerful, but all Sony needs to do to get public favor is to have something comparable and have a couple of games come out and outperform the Series X. And that's why I feel You know it's bullshit. I know it's bullshit. But you see what they were trying to do the first year of the consoles, where everybody where Microsoft said, look, we gotta, they need the tools. You know what I'm saying? When they get the tools, you'll start seeing the power of the Series X at its capacity. Well, not its capacity, but you'll start seeing these games start pushing out, and you'll start seeing that they'll outperform the PlayStation 5. And remember,
but it's up to the developers to use those tools, which I said before, they're not using them.
But I get that. But this is the thing, though. Even with the developers not, the console itself has enough of the tools within the hardware that even if the devs wanted to half-ass on anything, or wanted to do the parity situation, because remember, nobody hasn't brought that word up in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Series S, the Series X is going to still outperform the PlayStation 5. That's why everybody, right. It's like, well, where's the tools? Where's the tools? And now you don't see that shit no more, do you? You don't hear it no more. And I
still hear it from time to time.
It's not, you know what I'm saying? For, Digital Foundry don't put nowhere near as many games as they did that first year between the consoles, when the Series X didn't have its full potential to be shown yet, and the console is so powerful enough that it isn't what you call it. But remember, regardless of all that, forget all that, right? This is why I say that they'll do it, because even if that's close to the Series X, when PlayStation drops their mid refresh, I don't think Microsoft even wants to give them an opportunity. It's like what Ham Solo is saying, what people in the chat are saying, is confidence. They feel remember, and if somebody try to bring up about money or resources, all that, let's just be clear about this. I said this on Spooky. I said this last night on Next Podcast. Let's not forget that Phil Spencer, in the Xbox One generation, which was already lost, dropped the Xbox One X just to prove a point to Sony and everybody else. We ain't bullshitting with you no more. We're not going to be told that the console that's being made from us is insignificant to any of the competition. It will not happen. And they discontinued the damn Xbox One X. So just think about that for a second. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think that Microsoft is playing around, or Phil and them is playing around with the power narrative. They want it. He stresses it, and I think that there will be a mid-gen refresh just to prove the point, to say, look, Sony, you can do whatever you want to, but we're always going to stay 2-3 steps ahead of you when it comes to the power narrative. And now we're trying to catch up with you with the gaming narrative. It's taking a little bit longer than what we would like. But again, when all that shit drops, what then? So that's why I feel that console, and then when that console drops, it's going to be $600. So it's not, you know what I'm saying? And then to me, with the whole, with the price releasing, the price increase, definitely Game Pass is going to go up. The question is when. It could happen if the ABA thing happens between early, and then they start dropping, because they can put the older CODs on Xbox as soon as possible once the deal is closed, right? As long as when the deal goes through, so they can put the older ones there immediately, and so that means this new Call of Duty could pop up next year. At the end of the year, when the new other COD is coming, that could happen.
There's no COD in 2023. They said no COD.
Okay, so okay. So maybe not then. But all the rest of the CODs from Vanguard on down will be in Game Pass, and at that point, then I think that they would raise the price at that point, because then Avowed, Motorsport, Redfall, Starfield, and let's say Hellblade 2 all drop in the same year, right? That's That's nuts. On top of what you're saying, Life of Pi and all the rest of the games that's going to be dropping. That's nuts.
Lies of P, not Life of Pi.
Life of Pi. I don't know
No,
why I said that.
Lies of P.
Lies of P. So thank you. I don't know. I don't know. Life of Pi. That was that movie with the tiger. Yeah, that was
the
movie
tiger
with
in the boat.
With the tiger
Yes.
in the boat. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So I knew that was like I got that from somewhere. But anyway, all right. Let me be country. And old. That's to me is that when you got all these other games that's going to be dropping from the third party as well for the stuff that we don't know. We got the cross tag battle. You got Guilty Gear. All the rest of the stuff that they're going to be dropping. I think at that point that they'll raise up the price. But what I think that they'll do with Xbox Live, because I agree with you, Xbox Live is about to be out of here. I think what they'll do with Xbox Live is make that the lowest tier. And that will be a tier where probably kind of like what Netflix is doing right now with something with ads or something of that nature to where it's a good entry level, but it's annoying, but you'll like it enough to hold on to it. And just until you just say you just can't get it, you just like, man, hell with this. I'm going to just upgrade to the $15 version or to the whatever, to the $15 version. So either the one with ads will be like a $7, $8 version, and then you'll jump to the 15, and then you'll have the 15, you'll have the maybe 18 to 20, and then you'll have the family plan or whatever. Or maybe they'll just have it that. But I think that Xbox Live is going to transform itself into a cheaper version of Game Pass and maybe be limited to a degree. You see what I'm saying? Like something is going to be the caveat for where people are going to be enticed in order to get the bigger Game Pass. So maybe they'll have just 50 to 70 games. And then they won't get the new stuff. They might have to wait a year or so. Or they'll have ads or something like that.
Game Pass. It might be a curated Game Pass that they create that goes on other platforms. And that's their lowest tier.
Right. It's going to be their lowest tier. Yeah. Xbox Live is definitely going to be their lowest tier. That's going to happen, and so that I can see. So that will raise up, and then of course the $70 games. I mean, I'll still, you're right. It is inevitable, but for me, I'm still going to hustle. I'm still going to do I'm still going to use my points. Still get games for 60 or less that I want, and then for the other games, then I'll just get on Game Pass and just wait for a sale. I'm still not going to be just going crazy and buying $70 games. It's just not going to happen. I'm not there yet. Maybe eventually I might change up, but not now. I don't see it happen for another couple of years, to be honest with you. I'm not feeling it. So, but I'll find ways to get around, especially like I said, with the rewards points and all of that, that'll be good. But with that being said, I think that we all in agreement that there's going to be some price hikes. But to this last point of this topic, what does this mean? Because you were saying about like you still don't think it's at 30 million subscribers. And what was
the last numbers were 25. So,
but that was how long ago was that?
That was a year and a half ago.
That was about a year and a half ago.
No, it was
that was like 6 months ago, right? Or like
that was last
January.
year. No, that was last year when they said that.
No, it was at the beginning of this year or something like that.
Yeah, when they announced the APK acquisition, that's when they brought out some numbers and say, "Oh, we're at 25 million."
Right, but remember what the 2K CEO said, and what J.S. Gordon said. Like they're beyond that. Mm-hmm. They're beyond that. No, all right. They're saying numbers that's comfortable. They're saying numbers that they're comfortable with letting the public know right now. But they both were saying like, nah, it's more than that.
I know what you're talking about in terms of that little conversation between what's his name, the CEO of 2K.
The CEO of 2K. Yeah, I can't think of his name either.
All right, so when he and Phil Spencer sat down with that one woman reporter, so he said we're at 30 million, aren't we? And then Phil Spencer laughed. Well, that was before they came out with the numbers.
That's when they were saying it was at 18.
Right. He said we're at 30 million, aren't we? And then they came out about a few weeks later and said they're at 25 million. That was the official numbers because originally the official numbers were 8.
Is that official? See, that's the question I'm saying. Okay, hold on. Let me make a point with this. Okay,
so like Windows Central and The Verge, said this last January 18th of this year that they hit 25
Right. Okay.
million subscribers.
Yep. I got you. But listen to what I'm saying to this. You're saying official, like that's where it's locked at. I don't believe that whatsoever. It's just like when you
it's not locked there. I'm sure it's more than that.
You're right.
But
hold on. Let me make my point.
Milestone.
Okay, milestone. Right. They hit that milestone. But let me make my point. It's just no different than like when we get a follow or a sub or something like that. And I know I do this, and I see a lot of other people do it too, but I don't know if you guys do it, but I know I do it as well. Is that okay? So when you get to let's say you got to your thousandth sub, right? You don't come out automatically when you hit 1,000 and you say, "Hey, I gotta hit 1,000 sub." People wait until they get to a comfortable spot before they say. You know what I'm saying? Just like with that, because I was like, because it never fails. Oh, I hit 4,000 subs. I waited until I got to like the 4,050 before I said anything about having 4,000 subs. Because if I say 4,000 and I'm right at 4,000, I'm going to have somebody's
people gonna do something.
They're just going to drop. Yeah. They're going to drop, and it's going to, and they'll be like, "I thought you said you were at 4,000." That's exactly what Microsoft is doing. That's exactly what Microsoft is doing. And on top of that, to add a little spice to add a little flavor to the meal, little spice, is that this is also a point to try to not tell the actual number of what Xbox really has in Game Pass, because that could be the argument in Sony's favor with this deal. Because that's what the CMA is talking about. So obviously there might be some discussions about what the real numbers are, which might be 30 million, 32 million. But that right there, if you come out and you say you got 30 million, and then the CMA is saying what they're saying, like, hey, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, K-Mega, it's just like I said earlier about PlayStation, like you play broke. You play broke.
You play broke. Okay, I'm sorry, but go ahead. Make your point, Ham.
Wait. Bring the Mogwai in. Let's get the Mogwai in. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's all I had to say.
Feed the Mogwai.
Sir X-Men came.
Oh, yeah. Can y'all hear me good? Can y'all hear me good?
We feed the Mogwai.
Here he goes again with this old man talking at the
start. All right. Let me break this shit down.
Is this thing on?
Let me. Y'all funny. Let me break this shit down for people that don't understand that I've kept preaching for months and months and over a damn year. It's not about the subscribers on Game Pass. Game Pass is a motherfucking plus. Microsoft actually has well over 100 million fucking subscribers to their service.
Xbox
and
Live
we're not including PC. No, it's more than that. It's more than that. But if you really want to calculate it, and Microsoft will ever want to tell you the truth, I'm sure between PC, Game Pass, and your Xbox regular Live Gold membership, which everybody always cries about, they need to get rid of the gold. Guess what? Gold is money. Gold is subscribers. Go to subscribers. So what the fuck y'all talking about? Everybody always say you need to get rid of gold. Go to subscribers, motherfuckers. Game Pass is an option for people.
They let you cuss like that at
work. Oh yeah. I'm outside, man. I'm a teamster. You know how we talk. We teamsters.
He is literally outside. He is outside right now.
Continue, Gremlin. Since you got fed, Margaret.
As I've been saying, we actually have, and Microsoft don't want to put it out there, more subscribers to our service than Sony has on their just one PlayStation. But nobody will ever talk about that. And that's a fact. And it's been like that since the 360, since Microsoft has created online for console. Now they got it on PC now. The numbers are growing. And that's just gold members for the console. Game Pass is for the PC. Y'all multiply that shit and do the math, and y'all figure that out for me. Because if I'm looking, if you go by subscriptions, Microsoft's the market leader. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep, that is
Oh,
true.
goodness. Well, I mean that, and maybe that's how the CMA is looking at this. I don't know. I mean, but because it just doesn't make sense because of the sub count for being at between 18 and 25 million subscribers. Is that somehow is so threatening to Sony? It has to be something else.
Hey, Mega, check this out, okay, Mega. We still only sold 30,000 consoles. I mean, come on.
Well, I got you. I got you. I just.
But wait.
Yeah,
wait, let me add on to this, because here's the thing. Just like what Sir X-Man is saying, we can't forget about Xbox Live Gold, because remember I said,
people do.
That's going to fold in to Game Pass and be their lowest tier. So that's what I said. The lowest tier will have Xbox Live Gold in it, and then the Ultimate will still have it in there, and so will the family plan. So they're going to do what Sony did, because Sony did it too. They took their PlayStation Plus subscribers, folded them into PlayStation Now. Now you got PlayStation Plus, Essentials, Extra, and Premium.
And what did they say? They said, we got 47 million subscribers. You ain't got shit compared to Microsoft.
They got a little bit more. They're like in their 60s.
That's why some of the stands is bringing up, doubling the numbers, is saying 100 and some million subscribers for PlayStation.
Oh shit!
Well, if you count, but see, this is how they count it, right? Like, I mean, their math is very, very flawed. But how they're counting it is that, okay, you count the, I don't know, however, 53, 56 million. Well, I think it was 43 million. PSN subscribers. Then you add the PlayStation Now subscribers, and I forgot what that number was, like 9 to 12 million or something like that.
No, it was only 3 million.
Oh, yeah, that's right, 3 million. That's right.
You gotta have PSN to have PlayStation Now, right?
Right. So yeah, you're right. So that's when I came up with the equation. Like, that's only 50 some million. But regardless, they're counting and saying it's 100 and some million because of people that are active on PlayStation on the PlayStation Network. So
they're only saying that because of the fact that they sold 111 million PlayStation 4s, and then they've got another 20 million PlayStation 5s. So that's why they're trying to bring up that number, saying everybody that has a PlayStation has PlayStation Plus, which is a lie.
Right. Well, see, this is the thing.
I got a question, because you guys got PlayStations. So can you have a gamer tag without having PlayStation regular live stuff?
No. You got to have.
Yes, you can.
How?
Well,
you can create a gamer tag and just have just that without paying for online.
Oh, well, but you don't get the assets from playing out. So I understood that wrong. Yeah, no, yeah, you can do that. But I mean,
in other words, Sony's cheating.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
if you think about it, Sony's cheating. They're cheating. We have active members that pay $60 a year, and they don't want Game Pass right now. They actually buy the games. So we're buying more games as exclusives for people with gold. That's not Game Pass.
Well, okay, so, but let me answer this. Let me answer this question to Jay Slayer. He's like, there's no way the CMA doesn't know the exact number right now. If they ask Xbox, has to tell them. That's my point. CMA has made it clear that, listen, this Game Pass shit is threatening. We don't know the numbers, and the CMA is not going to disclose them, because then that's breaching trust. Because that's going well beyond what they're supposed to do. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think those numbers, I think those numbers are well over, I can't say well over, but the numbers is 30 plus, because you can't be telling me, listen, Sean Layton said, in order for Xbox to make a profit, they have to be at 50 million, right? 25 million, you know what I'm saying? When they were saying that remember Phil was saying, look, and Aaron Greenberg said, look, man, don't worry about our pockets, man. Yeah, we're spending the money, but it's going to come back. Now Phil is saying we're profitable.
It's profitable. Yep.
Okay.
us.
It's
You guys,
profitable.
you guys, real quick before I get ready to go punch the clock,
Yeah.
punch out. But people forget you got probably 80, 90 million people with just gold. So a lot of them are
Hmm.
in and out of Game Pass. So they get a little money when Game Pass gets hot and there's some games out there that people want. So, every now and then you can count that to profit for that month or that 2 months. They're making money. You get $60 for about a 90, just average it out to 100 million, just 100 million subscribers. That's a lot of money.
Right.
That's a
Yeah,
whole lot
well,
of
yeah,
money.
it's a whole bunch of money. See, because this is the thing what the stands are saying that's the difference, right? Like, well, they said that they're not making that their numbers or their like percentage went down and people aren't buying into Game Pass like that. So therefore, Phil Spencer is lying. You could be right about Phil Spencer lying, but it ain't about. But it's just like what Ham has been saying. They're pretending to be broke. That's the whole part of. They're playing the game. They're like, man, we didn't meet expectations. They're doing a Square Enix right now. Man, we didn't meet expectations. Man,
There I go. I brought the Maguire out again. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. Like, I mean, it's just like okay, what was the expectations though? You know what I'm saying? Like they could have said, well, we wanted to get 50 million. Of course, you're not going to meet your expectations, and so if your revenue is down slightly, but the one thing, but Xbox is made Game Pass is accounted for 13 to 15% of Xbox revenue, and that's up.
Hey, your regular revenue is coming from people with gold, baby.
Right, that math ain't right, baby. And you know what I'm saying? And Phil can sit there and can lie to the people, but they cannot lie to their investors. They said that on that investment call. So they are over 30 million. CMA knows.
So if you really, and can make it real quick, I'm going to go punch out.
Yeah.
Let me say this real quick, and I'll listen to the rest of it, when I'm walking out the door. But think about this. If Xbox Live has and Game Pass together and PC has more subscribers than Sony and Nintendo together, guess what? Xbox and Microsoft are the subscription leaders as far as gaming.
Well, Sony said that much. That's what that was their first point of saying that in Brazil. But that's the thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They said like, look, man, like they came out and made it clear. That's when they first came out, was over there crying like 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 ends, like itches. They're out there, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna say this and I'm gone real quick. So in other words, Microsoft has got Sony shaking in their boots.
The Game Pass got them scared, and COD got them scared. You so messy. Take your
it's all about way ass out of here. It's all about the subscriptions and the money that makes the profit, man. It's all about that. That's what it's always been about. Sony never saw that shit until too late. Until way too late.
Oh yeah, Sony had it first. Like, when they did PlayStation Now, they had the opportunity. They didn't think about it. They squandered it.
They abused that guy and cut it.
They abused it. Yeah, they abused their customers by trying to take it. Obviously, they didn't have enough faith in whatever that they did. They were smart by buying it, but they didn't know what to do with it. So
they were cocky. They were charging $20 a month for PS Now, which is a bunch of crap, and it's still a bunch of crap.
I'm out.
All right, man. Yeah, no, but okay. So that's the thing too, though. So, gentlemen, that's the thing that I'm trying to point out to the listeners and to you guys is basically, if you're going to say Phil Spencer is lying, Phil Spencer ain't lying because Game Pass is not making no money, that is not profitable. He can't. It's just like what Spider-Man said. It's just like what Jay Sled said. They can't lie to their investors. They cannot lie to them. So if it's making profit, it's making profit. But it's not at 20. It's not at 25 million. And I remember there was somebody else, and I cannot remember who did that interview. They said if Microsoft can get to 30 million over 30 million, then they could start generating profit off of Game Pass. I don't know if you guys remember that interview that they had. I believe that was with I can't think of that guy's name. He does stuff for Windows Central. He not Jez, but the other guy.
Miles Dampier.
Yeah. And there was a guy that was on his podcast, or he interviewed, or he had an article about it or whatever. And that's what that dude was saying, was that it was over 30. It's not 50. If they're at 50, then it's game over. That's what that dude was saying. So when Sean Layton was over here, Wolf of Tickets, talking about that they needed to be at 50 million or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that's why we had the discussion on GRG about over a year ago, where we was talking about, I'm like, because we was projecting the games that were supposed to be coming out in 2022, I'm like, they can clearly hit 50. They could definitely hit 50 if all those games are going to be coming.
I think he was talking with somebody that was from EA. I think it was some guy from EA that was saying, I can't remember
who the guy was, but he would know.
Yeah.
Because EA got EA Access. They're the ones that really kicked it off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my whole thing. Like that, the Phil ain't lying about them making profit. It's just that but I don't believe that it's still at 25 million, and that's why I say that's a comfortable number. Because let's just say that it drops from, let's say they're at 30 million, 30 million, and then all of a sudden they, like right at the brink, and then they drop to like 29, 20 to 28 million or something like that or whatever, right? Then you over here, then you look like that you are not keeping a fan base. So therefore, you always want to tell people where your numbers that you're more comfortable with, until you get to that next, like Ham said, milestone. And the next milestone will probably be 35 to 40 million.
35.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm saying? What up, John Wolf? What up, bro? I just think that overall, the conspiracy theories of trying to demean Game Pass is so asinine. Game Pass, listen, when Game Pass was in its infancy, that was the time for Game Pass to be put to pasture in the first 2-3 years, especially after all those games that didn't drop or were a disappointment. You know what I mean? That was the opportunity for Microsoft to cut bait. They're not going to cut bait now. You know what I'm saying? It's getting too much buzz. So, I mean,
Microsoft is not Google.
Yeah, no. I mean, they've walked away from stuff, but man, you can't sit there and be at what, 10 million, then 8 million, then to like 12, 13 million, and then jump to 18, and now you at 25. That's some major progress within what I would say in about 4 years. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, they move faster than PlayStation now. We can say that.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a fact. That's definitely a fact. All right, we got one more topic, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. And that's I wanted to do the cross. We'll just say that for next week about the cross play and skill based matching games because I thought that was pretty interesting, because I do agree to some. I have a little bit with the skill based thing, but not to the degree of where people want to cut off crossplay, because I think crossplay is very important, especially for the future of what's going on with gaming. But I'll say that for next week. But I want to talk about The Witcher. And, well, not so much about The Witcher remake. I mean, you can give me your thoughts about it, which I'm rubbing my hands together. But what I want to get, and I'll start with you, Viper. We heard about The Witcher remake coming. I'm very ecstatic about it. I got The Witcher on PC. I played maybe 3 hours on it, but I'm just not a mouse and keyboard guy. I'm just not. And I've even tried to use some of those like, I forgot, something patter. It's where you can use your controller, but it still plays like ass juice. So even when you're trying to play it with a controller, with that modded controller thing, so it's fantastic to know that they're going to be bringing it to console. But when is the cutoff line for a remaster? Because when I posted it, then here comes some other content creators coming out and saying, oh, now remasters are good. Oh, now all remasters are great. Not so much there, buddy. This is the reality. There should be a cutoff line. And so what do you think the cutoff line should be, Viper? Like when I say cutoff line, like 360 generation and beyond, or even longer than that?
Okay, so
yeah, what do you think? Or do you believe about The Last of Us and shit should just be, just bring as many remasters as you want to?
Well, I'm a PC guy now. I used to be a console guy, but I'm a PC guy now. And I'm going to go with my PC brethren. Oh, no, it's Alex. He put out a video, and he basically I'm going to side with him where it's The Last of Us remake was a cash grab. Okay? You already had the remaster of the PS3 version on PS4. Then you had an update or a patch, whatever you want to call it, so that it can run with the settings for PS5. You didn't need to do a remake so it can look just like Last of Us 2. That was unnecessary. I feel that the cutoff for a remaster or remake should be like what happened with Resident Evil 2, what happened with Resident Evil 4, what's happening with let's see, with The Witcher now. Because here's the thing. The Witcher was only on PC, only mouse and keyboard.
Right.
The controls were extremely wonky.
Yep.
And now you're bringing it back out after the success of after the success of Witcher 2, Witcher 3, and the Netflix series. You're bringing back out the original one in Unreal Engine 5, controller support so that everybody on every console and everywhere can play it. Because a lot of people didn't play The Witcher 1. Most people got involved during either The Witcher 2 on the 360 and PS3 or The Witcher 3 on Xbox One and PS4. So people, unless they've read the comics or the books or whatever they want to call it, they don't know what the original Witcher was all about. So they're lost. They're only going off of what happened in The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 3. Now they have that chance. Everybody got the chance. So I see that as something where, yes, the remake is necessary. And in terms of your question about what's the cutoff point, I would honestly say if it was before the HD generation, that's where you need to make the remake. So anything that is original Xbox and backwards, that's where you need to do a remake of it. If it's on the 360, not necessarily. I can understand if it was a PlayStation 3 game, and since it's not actually, it's not available to play on PS5, then, or natively, shall I say, then you can do the remake of a PS3 game, or remake or remaster, whichever one you want to choose. But the fact is, if it is possible to emulate the game, emulate the game. Because a PS3 game can be emulated on a PC. It can be emulated on an Xbox Series X and S in developer mode. People forget about that. So if it can be played natively through emulation, then, you can keep it that way. But if it can't be played through emulation, if it cannot be preserved in its original form, do a remake or a remaster.
All right. What about you, Ham? What's the cutoff line for you, bro? And what you think about and what do you think about The Witcher getting the remaster?
Oh, well, as for like The Witcher getting a remaster,
I should say The Witcher. Okay.
I honestly don't really like I don't care or mind. Like it's fine. And plus, as you guys said, and as we said earlier in the show I had earlier today, like this game wasn't available on console or whatnot, so this is going to be a new experience for a ton of different people. This is opening like a new market for CD Projekt Red with the full portion of what The Witcher is, instead of just parts of it are over here, and then you get this one. Like now they're opening themselves up not only to bring a game which they're putting into UE5, which is supposed to be like phenomenal. They're gonna make that, which will lead to The Witcher 2, and then by the time they do those two games, they probably can remake, to be honest, a Witcher 3 by that point. Who knows? But it's a possibility. I mean, you see what they did with The Last of Us, and you just got done talking about it. Like, it didn't really seem to need it, but somebody thought it was necessary, so they did it. As for like what I think about remakes in general, where's the cutoff for that? I say at least like a decade old is probably like a good cutoff. Just to give that last one some time to breathe, and to give your fans some time to breathe as well, because I don't know, like whether you love it or not, or I'm sure like development didn't like, I mean, they're not vocal like we as content creators are and stuff like that, but I'm sure like it kind of sucked to hear, all these people saying we don't need this, and you're going to work every day doing it.
Right, I agree with that.
Like I mean, because we got to remember these developers and everything, they're real people too, and they see things where people think they don't. They think like, people think that, these guys just go to work and, make their buck and, clock out and don't care about what anybody else thinks. No, these are real people. So they got feelings, they see, the crowd's reaction to stuff. They don't always know what like the end price is going to be either for it. I remember Paris said something about him hearing about how much the Last of Us remake, Last of Us Part 1 remake was going to be, and talking to a developer about it, and the developer didn't even know it was going to be full price, $70. So I mean, like, it's just really interesting for the development side of it, because it's just like you just kind of got to do what you got to do, but at the same time, for us as consumers, I feel like the industry really just needs to be able to read their consumers a little bit better. They're kind of speaking too much with what they think can make a quick buck now, instead of what could reinvigorate or really, change the direction of gaming. So I say at least 10 years, but I'd go as far as saying like 15 would be even better. Because because if you went way back, then you're starting to get into like my childhood like feels, and a lot of other people like college or high school kind of feels. Like K Mega, what like if EA said, "Yo, we're bringing back Road Rash," what would you think?
Oh, I'd be happy. They did.
It's been
back
like
Road
20.
Rash. But I don't think it was made by
When
EA.
did they do that?
About 6 years, but between 3 to 5 years ago.
What is that one called?
No.
Road Rash something. It got horrible ratings. I was excited as hell. I don't even know if it was made by EA, but it hold on, let me look. Let me type in Road Rash.
Wait, hold on. I did not hear about that.
I was all on it, boy.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yep.
No Road Rash on. I don't see it on Xbox.
Oh yeah, it's on Xbox. Yeah, no, it was they did another Road Rash. I'm telling you, it was because I had it on. I was about to buy it, but then it got wrecked so bad. Let me see. I'll say Xbox One. Xbox. Yeah, see, it's right here. When I pop it up, it'll say yeah, it's right here. Just Road Rash, and it's made by EA. Yeah. Yeah.
It's mobile.
Well, I mean, it was on Xbox One, so I mean, you're saying it came out about 4 or 5 years ago.
Are you talking about Road Rage?
No,
No,
Road Rash. I'm
Yeah.
seeing
Yeah.
it's a mobile game that says September 1991 was the first release date. Latest release was a Java version in 2009.
And you said 91. I'm like, what's 91? And they have
Right.
mobile. No,
No,
91.
no. Like I said, the original one was September 1991,
Oh
but
yeah,
the
but
latest
you said a
release.
mobile game. Yeah, the latest release. Yeah.
Wait, no, the latest release is mobile, and that's a Java mobile edition in 2009.
No. Okay, so is it Road? Well, no, because Road Redemption is another game that came out. I had that on PC. That's on Xbox as well. What the?
It says Electronic Arts Mobile.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so as I said, console games I'm thinking of.
Yes.
Not mobile or whatever. Or somebody
It's on console.
Okay, so I'm seeing the 360. There's like Road Rash Uprising.
No, that's not the one.
That's the last one I see on here.
Let's see.
Mm.
Keep going though. Keep talking while I find it.
But anyways, yeah. So what I'm saying, long story short, like it'd be really nice for them to dig even further back instead of things that we feel like we just played last generation or maybe a generation and a half ago. Like, let's reinvigorate some of these like massive titles that are just completely dormant and stuff like that. I know a lot of these devs or publishers are not around anymore, but I think that would be interesting. I even talked about this on my show earlier. I said I would like to, instead of all these remakes and remasters, I want to see more reimagined. So
it's Road Rash. It's Road Rage. Road Rage. That's the one.
That's what I just said a little bit ago.
But you said the 360. That game came out in 2017.
No. I said Road Rage first, and then you're like, no, not that one. So then I went to the Uprising one for 360.
Oh, okay. So
Actually, y'all both were wrong. Both wrong because it says it's the spiritual successor called Road Redemption. Was released later in 2017 and 2018 for Windows, Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One.
I got Road Redemption, and it does remind you of Road Rash, but I remember seeing Road Rage, and I'm thinking that was Rash. But regardless, that's the one I was talking about was Road Rash. I wasn't talking about the Road to Redemption, but even though that plays like Road Rash, but it's not particularly Road Rash. So I guess Road Rage isn't in it. But games of that ilk was just there because I knew because I never played the Road Rage. I knew because I was like, holy shit, is this Road Rash, whatever. And I'm like, okay. But I got Road to Redemption because I got that when I picked that up when it was in beta on PC. That's when I first picked that one up. But continue.
Yeah, but like let's dig a little deep. Like, let's see like EA go back to like NBA Street again with some of the newer players that are out and bring some of the old players back in. I mean, there's just so much older IPs that are available for these publishers to use that it feels like they're just going at it with, this is what people are familiar with. We know we can make a quick buck with it. Let's just go with that. And it kind of makes me a little nervous with these remakes. That's why I was like, I really like some reimaginings of some older IPs. Like we talk about the Last of Us, but that same dev team could do, a reimagining of Jak and Daxter or something like that. That'd be interesting. A lot of people are looking at that, but that might not pull the same thing as The Last of Us. So I get it, but at the same time, that's kind of some of the stuff that makes your platform interesting is you're able to, and a lot of people, you hear a lot of people say this about Xbox is like, yo, they might not have every single, crazy, gorgeous third person over the shoulder kind of game, yes, but they have a variety that's like insane. And the variety eventually is what's going to bring you, you know, the popularity of, oh, snap. I mean, I can get literally anything over here compared to, you know, getting the same six types, like few types of games that I feel like you kind of get over at Sony. Unfortunately, I've played a lot of games that feel like Uncharted on Sony and stuff like that, or feel like you're just kind of, you know, doing the same thing with like a bow and arrow and stuff like that. So I just like to see them like instead of a deadline, I just like to see them be just creative with it. But like if I were to give a deadline, I'd say like 15 years.
Okay. All right. I agree. And listen, you know what I'm saying? Look, I know that y'all feel like y'all got me because there's road rage, but still road rash, and then there's road rage, and then there's roads of redemption. Still, the closest thing to road redemption is actually pretty fun, but I haven't played it in years. I need to, yeah, because like I said, I got it on PC, and I was just watching the trailer on the Xbox version of Road Redemption. I might pick that up for the box. I might pick that up. But anyway, but Road Rash would be a good comeback for EA. It's kind of weird because when you look at, but that wasn't a remake, that was a remaster. That was a remaster, right? Of the Mass Effect trilogy. That would be considered a remaster, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mass Effect trilogy was
that's
a
a
remaster.
remaster. Yeah.
Anything from 2010, I would say from 2009 up, to get the remaster treatment. Anything after that, before that, should be up for potential for a remaster. For a remake.
Remake, yeah.
Yeah, for a remake. Because they did a Jade Empire. That would be plenty of time. The Cold Tour game, I don't have a problem with that. That's even though we might not ever see it, but that's a perfect time for that. And then also it just blows my mind because like you were saying, Ham, is that all these games that were from our childhood and from when we were teenagers or whatever, there's so much potential there. Because it's like what you also said with that, like a lot of the games that we play, they all got something similar to what was a hit. And what was some of the best moments in my gaming life was the originality of some of those games that came out back then that I think that people would really be excited about. Dark Cloud. Why would Sony not bring Dark Cloud back as a remaster? Remake. That's a wonderful game. Mark of the Cree. Why would you not bring Mark of the Cree back? You brought Shadow of the Colossus, which I thought was I thought that was a great remaster or whatever the hell it was back then. I thought that was fantastic what they did. If you can bring that game back, if you can bring The Last Guardian back, you can bring Mark of the Cree. You can bring, I know that other people brings up Cypher Filter and stuff like that. But like there's so many gems that they could be bringing back. I would love to see, of course, since I'm a fighter fan, I would love to see Tabal make a return in some way, shape, or form. I know that was a Square Enix game. I know that they don't make fighters anymore, but they actually make some pretty good fighters because I do got a couple of their fighters on PC that they make. They're low key, but they're Japanese games that never got brought out to the West except for only through PC that you got access to them, but never on console. There's so many classics. I'm just thinking about like Legend of Legaia, Legend of Lagoon. Now there was rumors that Legend of Lagoon would be making would have a remake. That's a perfect game to come back to. Final Fantasy Tactics. I think that Square is going to be bringing some form of it. Like there's so many classics out there. Dark Sector, like, yeah, that's another class. I mean, for me, for like, if you want to go back to the to the 360 or to the OG Xbox, Riddick, wouldn't Riddick would benefit from a remake? I don't know, but regardless, I think that they're
Chronicles.
Yeah,
Chronicles of Riddick, yes, that would deserve it. But I'm gonna do something that I told my Jamaican brethren Bunty. I'm going to chat the patwa upon the show today because me know say you want to hear it, Bunty want to hear it, and you want to hear how me sound different upon the show. So yes, we need another remake for all of these old school games that come before the original Xbox. And Bunty can jump in with this and give his version of it. Go type it in the chat, Bunty.
Wow, damn, that was impressive. Are you part Jamaican?
No, I am Jamaican. I was born here, but my parents are from Jamaica.
I was gonna say that was just too goddamn good to be faking that. Like, damn, you should hit that. The only thing I can do is bump a clot. Bump. That's all I can do. Bump a clot. What? How do you say that? How did I say it wrong?
It's a curse word. Don't say it.
Oh, I don't know. I knew it's something. I know somebody getting fucked up. That's all I know. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, that was great. Better get out of here. Let me see what. Yeah, man. And I see what Sleepy Goblin's saying. He would play Riddick again so fast. Like, yeah. Like, I mean, there's so many old classics that can get reborn again if they decide to just really do it. That would be, and those games, I understand that they would cost money. But I feel that if you could get those games to come back, and you could put them on your gaming service, that's would be a good reason to get to invest into PlayStation's service. Definitely for Game Pass. There's just too much potential from that era. And I believe, and I bet you there would be games like God Hand, for instance. Oh my God, remake God Hand. Did any of you guys play God Hand? The Capcom, I think it was Capcom.
Nope.
Oh my God, man, the PlayStation 2 game, bro.
Oh God, no, I didn't play PlayStation 2.
God Hand was out of Jack. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and then like just to, and even though I do like the nostalgia of the 8-bit looking, beat 'em ups, but man, how about you make me a beat 'em up that looked like what the Bouncer was when it dropped on the PlayStation 2 launch? How about with Unreal Engine 5? Give me a beat 'em up like that. Imagine what that would be like. Like, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. There's so many lost treasures from that era that never really got the opportunity to you know what I'm saying? And I think that those games would be a hit now. So, you know what I'm saying? I just think that they need to be focusing more on trying to remaster games from decades ago and try to bring those back to see what would stick and what wasn't. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But thank you guys, man. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He said that, the devs want something new. But, okay, but you know what I'm saying? Well, you said the devs want something new, though, but those games, those devs that would be working on it, they would be new. Because the original devs for those games, those studios is probably gone. And that's the reason why those games never got resurrected again. Because those studios have been wiped out. Now, maybe there might be something that, that they would have, that they can't make it because maybe there's some red tape behind it, but they can make games similar to those. Like, I can't believe that there is not a game, there's not an RPG that's come out that's on the same, that's anywhere like Legend of Legaia. Like, come on. Why is there not a game like that? Why is there not another game like Legend of Legaia? That just blows my fucking mind.
Don't forget that there's red tape with all of this stuff. So if you have publishers that are defunct or developers that are defunct, it's going to be up in limbo trying to find all of these games and trying to get the licenses for it, or even trying to buy them outright.
Yeah, no, I know you're right. You're right. I mean, there's a bunch of red tape behind it for sure. But I would just, that's I think where the cutoff line is. But anyway, let's go ahead and get out of here. It's unbelievable. We just had 3 people. You know what I'm saying? We did an hour apiece, I guess. So it's all good. It was fun. You know what I'm saying? The pop-ins from Sir X-Man, you know what I'm saying? The feed the Mogwai, don't feed the Mogwai segment, or let me clear my throat segment. You know what I'm saying? Those were great. Live from location from his job. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty funny. But shout out to you, Sir X-Man. Shout out to everybody that's over there that's listening and everything like that. But we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Ham Solo, brother, where can they find you at, man? Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me back on as usual. But yeah, you guys can find me here every Friday. But I always say that I talked about this earlier on my other show. My other show that I'm on is on my channel, TSWS Gaming. Stands for They Said We Said. We do a show every Friday at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, with me, Loke, which has been on the show quite a bit of time, but also Cozy Beluga, which we need to get her on here.
Yeah, I need to.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I would definitely like to get her on.
But yeah, we definitely have some interesting takes, and we have guests come through a good amount of times. And yeah, check us out there. But as for my other show I do, which is on the same channel, TSWS Gaming, is Behind Them Sticks. Have all sorts of different people I talk to all around the world, all about gaming, their history, their thoughts. I just recently had Mag, middle-aged gamer guy, on yesterday. And I definitely have some very interesting upcoming episodes coming out as well. So make sure you guys check me out there. But as for Twitter, I'm at HamSolo05 Gaming there. Appreciate it, K-Mega.
Oh, yeah, no, always, man. Always. And Viper, man, thank you for coming on in, man, because it was just going to be a 2.5 man event because, you know what I'm saying, Sir X-Man was going to pop in, you know what I'm saying, and wanted to do his luck, don't feed the Mogwai after midnight segment. But other than that, man, really appreciate you coming on in, man, you know what I'm saying, filling in, getting your feet wet. Seems like you're getting more and more comfortable every time that you start speaking on these podcasts, man. You're going to be ready for when you start your own stuff eventually. So how you let everybody know where they can find you at, bro.
Thank you once again for letting me in. I don't know when I'm going to start my stuff. I might have to just start out with some videos first, and then I'll get into the I'll probably just do like guest appearances for now in podcasting before I actually, get my name established. And then, yeah, but I actually enjoy coming on here. Actually, I didn't want to wear out my welcome, so that's why I just waited until you started.
Thank God, because you can't ever come back again. No, I'm just playing with you. No, I appreciate you coming on in, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody's welcome to come on to GRG, man. It's not like that. I do got a problem. I need to start asking more people to come on to the show. I just don't. Because I'll get busy, or I get caught up doing something, or I might be into my little own zone playing a game, and I'm just in my own world. And so, you know what I'm saying? But no, anytime that you want to come on, you're free to.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
You might have 2 people come on because, you had a taste of it today, but you might have 2 people out of me. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're going to be you, and then you're going to do you're going to do your Jamaican accent? Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yes. Oh, definitely. You might see 2 versions of me coming out. I mean, you'll have the fine. American me, then you'll have the Jamaican me.
Oh, well, that is fine. That is fine. So, you know what I'm saying? You will get the American version of me, and you'll get the country version of me. So regardless, it just works out. Oh, man. So it is what it is. But, man, thank you. Where can they find you at, though, Viper?
Well, I am on Xbox at RG Viper X, and I'm also on Steam and GOG, and I frequent Twitter just a tiny bit because I want the salt. Oh, God, I want that salt. so many salty people on there. They talking about some stuff that I'm like, Ooh, pump that stuff in my veins right now.
Man's out of his mind.
This man going crazy. Lord have mercy. All right, we better get him out of here before he explodes. Oh my goodness. All right, man. Thank you guys for coming and checking us out. The return finally. Well, no, what you gonna say?
We can have the hit of the ganja real quick.
Oh, bop. Oh, go ahead and do that ganja, man. Do what you got to do. But the return of me neither. But the return of Fight Nights. I know I said this so many times. It's been a month since I streamed, but the return of streaming is happening tomorrow. I promise. It's either going to be to start with Gotham Knights, or it will be if we can find enough people to I'll stream. Crackdown 3 multiplayer.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
I'm ready tomorrow. I'll do it.
So if you come on down, man, you watch the gameplay, you've seen it. You know what I'm saying? We'll have a lot of fun. I guarantee that. But yeah, I'll be back. I'm finally going to be streaming. I don't have anything planned for any Mondays. So Sunday night, it's back to the routine. Fight Night Sunday. I'm just going to have to figure out what fighting game I want to bring back. I'm going to be trash because I haven't played a fighting game since the last time I did. I did Fight Night. So, but anyway, it's just going to be back to be feel good to start streaming again. And since I got some better time and all that, so let's go ahead and hope you guys check me out on YouTube and on Twitch. So yeah, come check that out. And as always, man, really do appreciate you coming. Check out the GRG podcast. Check me out on next podcast on Thursday nights, and wherever I'm guest at, I'll let you know on Twitter. Check me out on Twitter. That's usually where I'm most at. And that's at KMega4, man. So thank you guys so much as always. We'll see you guys next week. It's still a good time. Like, so you can go ahead you can hit the spots, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and hit that club, you know what I'm saying? So I can live through you guys as usual. You know what I'm saying? I'm a married man, you know what I'm saying? I got to be committed, you know what I'm saying? But if y'all go find something, remember, keep it strapped up. Do not get out there because, man, there's monkeypox, there's all different types of shit. There's COVID, there's everything, you know what I'm saying? So protect yourself, but enjoy yourself. Find you a hot one and get that pants off, dance off, man. Yeah, let's go. Everybody have a good one. Peace.
Deuces.
Hey, thanks for checking out the GRG podcast. All your gaming news and our special topic of the week. Make sure to join us every Friday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. This was the GRG podcast.